Hey, now it says stop broadcast. So let's not stop the broadcast because we've just started the broadcast. Hey, everybody, I am Jared Rasher. This is the What Do I Know About Actual Play series of videos. You can read more about me if you really want to, which would be a mistake, but if you want to, go ahead. At the What Do I Know Games and Geekdom blog. Right now, that is largely populated by reviews of various and sundry types. Currently, we are playing Shadow of the Demon Lord. We are in session 9 out of 11 sessions. The game is basically set up to wrap up after 11 adventures. Me being the crazy person that I am, I'm trying to keep adventure and session to the same definition, which is crazy. This game does feature adult themes, lots of violence, and crazy other situations. So, since we are at the beginning of this, and I'm actually remembering to say this, adult situations, language, and things come up. So, make sure to keep that in mind as you're watching this. Also, as my wonderful players have brought up in our pre-show, currently Shadow of the Demon Lord is available on Bundle of Holding. There is a metric crap ton of stuff. You can get all of the big Touchstone books right now. And so if you're interested in that, if you are interested in the system but have just been getting your first introduction from me, and I am really sorry if that's the case. But if you're just getting your first introduction from this series of videos, you should check out the Bundle of Holding right now if you're watching this video within a few days of release, because you can get an amazing amount of material through there.
For $14.
Yes, I mean it's a crazy deal. It's almost as insane as the deal was if you got in on the Kickstarter in the first place, which I still feel like I ripped off Robert Troll. I feel like I held him up at gunpoint and took material out of his pocket. So, with all of that out of the way, let's go to our player introductions. First, Steve, who are you and who are you playing?
I am the longest running player of Jared's various campaigns. Yeah, I've been the one that has run Jared to madness multiple times. Other than that, I am playing Abigail Tuller, our reformed prostitute, now witch, healer, and enchantress, trying to keep everybody from getting hurt and healing them when they do.
Nice. Ryan, why don't you introduce yourself and your character?
I'm Ryan. I have only a couple things in my name in the gaming world, so among which is being Moon Knight in one of Jared's other campaigns that's on YouTube.
But it's famous Moon Knight.
Famous or infamous? It's hard to tell. I'm playing Widow's Cry. He's an elf, magician, spellbinder, and Morrigan now. Kind of looks like a miniature walking gallows tree. He is not trying to keep people healed, and he's not really sure why he cares about these mortals sometimes.
All right, and let's go to Jason Hobbs. Tell everybody where they can find your internet famousness and tell us who you're playing.
Well, you can find my internet famousness on the internet. No, I'm just kidding. I'm on Twitter at Hobbs Indeed and Jason Hobbs on Google+, and I do a podcast called Hobbs and Friends of the OSR, which everyone should be listening to.
Yes.
Oh, and I also play a guy. I also play a guy named Kane, and he is now an exorcist, paladin warrior guy.
Nice. And now that I think of it, isn't there some sort of magazine or something that might be associated with you?
I have released the first issue of our quarterly zine for the podcast. It's called Hobbs and Friends of the OSR Zine #1.
That is a very creative name.
I don't have one to show you, I guess. I wasn't even thinking about it, but
it's okay.
Yeah, just ask Jared to send you one, and he'll get in touch with me.
All right, Mike, why don't you tell people how you're internet famous, because you've got some things going on, and then introduce us to your character.
I do. If you go to MikeMiley.com, you can find a lot of stuff. Among them, a build for the Moon Knight, the one with the French butler, in Pathfinder and 5e, and a bunch of Street Fighter characters. And most recently, I launched Kickstarter on Tuesday, my 6th Kickstarter, called The Book of Exalted Darkness. And the idea is that you are in this holy decopunk world where you're a fundamentally flawed, evil person. And while everyone else has their lives elongated by this
during this game.
stuff called Inaqua that powers all their technology, you are not benefited by that, and you can like pervert the technology to trick it or like overcharge it. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. There are 2 free PDFs on the project page, and we are 65% funded, I think, after a couple days now. And
Nice.
there is a Shadow of the Demon Lord stretch goal, and I think we're going to hit it. So if you're watching this and you want to be a despicable, vile person and stuff, and it's for D&D 5e, so if you're like, oh, dude, I totally want the blood of infants' feet, then, you know, check it out. It's pretty awesome. And my character in this game is Fringe, who began as an amnesiac changeling thief and has transformed into this Cronenberg-esque bio freak riding around on a chicken hut.
Yeah.
She's pretty amazing, honestly.
Fringe is getting scarier by the session.
Yes.
All right. And Kevin, why don't you introduce us to your internet famousness and your character?
Okay, so hi everyone. My name's Kevin Madison. I am not your friendly dungeon master this evening, but if you go to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel, you can find me playing that role over and over and over again. In terms of plug, next Saturday, which my players do not know, so every year I run something. My players I don't think watch this channel, so I'm safe to blow the surprise here. But every year I run something different for my birthday. I pick a game I haven't run before or haven't had a chance to run. This year, I'm just going with the game that I enjoy running the most. So I have last year we played about 14 hours of Warhammer 3rd edition. This year we're keeping with the J. Little theme, and I'm running Conan, Adventures in an Age Undreamed Of, which is my favorite game to run. So I will be having an unboxing. All the guys got secret packages in the mail that they have not been able to open yet. So we'll go through. I get to start all my guys in slavery, as is appropriate for a Conan game, and things go downhill from there. So, in this game, however, I am playing a Jotun, former slave, current heir apparent to an immortal trickster or tester position called the Stranger. And my guy's name is Vigus Magnuson. He's the resident meat shield, and that's kind of it.
All right.
Hey, now wait a minute. He's Abby's best friend.
And also, if you wanna do the shorthand, you're taking over for Shitty Tom Bombadil. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. Shitty Tom Bombadil, which is great because Vigus, before we were aware of that, Vigus had taken levels in Scald, so he's already working on his songs.
Exactly. All right, so I will do our quick recap of where we are at. The region is in chaos with civil war between the Inquisition, Legion of God, and the nobles, as well as the Beastmen finally boiling up after decades of being pacified. Our protagonist talked to a necromancer last session who was being held by the church and used his stash of magic to free Horus from demonic possession.
Well, not freeing him.
While not freeing the necromancer. That was important because the necromancer was a little upset because he thought he kind of had you guys there.
And I want to point out, no violence was had.
That's true. You guys didn't get violent until you got out in the wilderness. Horus's court wizard Eris is also in prison for being in collusion with the Sisterhood of Witches that tried to induct Abby. And she was willing to part with some secrets, basically saying that if the party is planning on going into the underworld, if they enter unprotected, any injuries to the body and mind cause people to start forgetting who they are, which is a horrible, dangerous thing, and they may want to look into some means of protecting themselves from that.
Mm-hmm.
After this, the party decided to go off on a track where they broke Father Stone out of prison, and essentially Widow's Cry sat on one shoulder and Abby sat on the other shoulder, and Widow's Cry said, I really don't care about you, but okay. And Abby said, no, listen to your better angels. And Father Stone got a weird look on his face and said, sure, I know what I'm going to do. And then at that point, Fringe shoved him in the doghouse and chained him to the
I'll
ballista.
point out that Fringe went there specifically to get Father Stone because she was like, "Oh, I need somebody to run the slingshot in my chicken hut."
Yeah. It was a very strange chain of events, and I'm not really even sure that Abby or Widow's Cry understood.
She gave him his holy symbol back because she stole it from him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now that you have Bolt Thrower, is he being fired from that position?
Oh no, we'll just put the bolt thrower on top of the chicken hut.
No.
So, when all of that was going on, the group headed out to the Forest of Screams, an enormous drake larger than anybody has actually heard of, attacked them. They managed to kill it and are about to enter the Forest of Screams. In the course of all of this, Kane, just hours behind everyone else because Kane was on a diplomatic mission trying to get everyone to get along, just missed his companions, found out from Sir Clendon, who has been reinstated in the church, that everything happened. Kane hasn't necessarily heard anything about Horus and the possession and all that. He's heard a little bit about that, but nothing. No one has announced this publicly. But Sir Clendon said, yeah, they took Father Stone and headed out into the wilderness. So Kane is just a mere few hours behind the rest of the party, and he's set to catch up with them as they make camp just outside of the Forest of Screams. But Kane has also seen this caravan of people murdered by the Beast Man that everyone else came by. He sees the skinned corpse of the drake that they murdered. Actually, you didn't murder it. It was attacking you first. That they killed.
And very well butchered.
It's a drake slaughter.
And it's not appropriate here. So we're going to pick up on the group setting up camp, or actually getting up in the morning so everyone is refreshed. So we're there in the morning. Kane shows up, and we're going to start. Kane, what do you say as you come upon this camp?
Wait, last game when we got the possession over with? We got rid of the demon?
Yes.
Okay. That was all Fringe, by the way, everybody. I just want to make sure everyone's clear on that. That was a Fringe operation.
The crazy demon-powered stone right now.
That's right. I forgot about the demon stone. Thank you. I forgot about the demon stone.
So, yes,
Well,
what do you say as you come upon this camp in the morning?
and I find it's quickly and easily realize it's my cohorts,
Yes.
not friends.
Who else could it be?
They just dies a little inside.
I didn't say it out loud.
He still knows.
I'll call out to Vigdis and everyone else and say, don't shoot, it's me, Kane, and I've been following your trail from Midkeep, right? I guess that's where they were.
Should I roll for bear hug or what?
Do you still have Father Stone?
Vegas doesn't listen to you at all and just tells you all about the Drake fight. It's like an overexcited kid who just saw a weird-looking dog.
And I haven't
Father
saw that.
Stone, get outside!
Is Fringe wearing the skin? Why was it skinned?
No, Widow's Cry skinned it.
Oh.
He's wearing a Drake skin cloak now.
Fringe might have taken a horn or a talon or something and just tried to tie it onto the back of the chicken hut just for flair.
Like you were just married, or
Vegas has carved a stein out of one of the horns.
So as soon as Vigdis takes a breath from explaining the Drake fight excitedly and completely talking past what Kane was asking him, Kane hears this voice from inside the doghouse with legs. I'm right over here, my old friend. And you see Father Stone is chained to the doghouse.
I thought he was inside peering out. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, why is Father Stone chained to the doghouse? To the chicken hut.
Operates the weapon. It is for his safety.
Just
Sure.
point at Fringe, shrug.
Father Stone, there's something a little different about him. He's normally a peaceful, serene guy, but it's really weird because for being chained up to those things, no, it's all right. Everything is all right. We're all fine.
Vegas doesn't know anything to read anything into that, but Kev is telling you that this is not going to end well.
Yeah, no, it's not going to end well at all.
Yeah. At some point, I guess Kane would want to talk to Abby about what the heck happened to Father Stone. I was going to use him to help, lead people from Midkeeper, hopefully, but he's a little whacked now.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen for any of us. Oh, as much as I wanted it to.
So-
Glares over at the elf.
It's odd that every once in a while Father Stone just kind of looks at everyone in the camp and then gazes off in the distance for a while and just does this. It's kind of. I think he's completely content. I don't know what anyone else would infer from that.
For sure. He's twirling a non-existent mustache.
So Kane talks to Abby about the situation a little bit. Father Stone seems completely content. You're all breaking camp for the morning. Are you ready to head into the Forest of Screams, or do you have any last-minute things that you would like to do first?
Well, if he's content, do we really have to keep him chained?
Hmm.
That would be my argument, I guess.
Yeah, that's.
I'll make sure that Father Stone's out of earshot, and then be like, I'm afraid that if I let him out of the chains, that he won't stay in the chicken hut.
Should he really be forced to stay in the chicken hut?
Thousands of years of elf experience says demons need to be chained.
Looks at you like you are insane at the suggestion that he doesn't need to be in the chicken hut.
Kane returns the look to Fringe. Like she is completely insane, of course.
Of course.
Actually, given where we're going, having another priest there with us, especially in the underworld, but he's not an extraordinarily powerful priest.
He's also excellent bait.
He's also a devil, but whatever.
I'm going to smack Fringe. At that point, he is not bait. He's a person.
He's a threat.
But so are you.
That's true. Father Stone, since the voices flare up a little bit, Father Stone kind of looks over at everyone and just kind of smiles and nods. You don't know what he's nodding at, which part of the conversation.
Abby's
He's
just kind
looking
of
at something we don't see.
looking at Widow's Cry, just kind of jaw agape, and then she looks at Kane and she goes, she's just looking at the two of them, and I'm just like, really?
So
We're about to go try to stop the world from ending, and you're having this argument now?
no, Widow's Cry's been having this argument all along, and given the number of years that his kind has been dealing with devils versus the number of years your kind has, he's pretty sure you have no idea what you're talking about. But sure, let's go.
Is there a way that I would be able to tell? I mean, are they saying that you think Father Stone is possessed, or I'm a little confused personally.
He's half devil,
He's a Cambion.
Yeah.
therefore he is a threat.
So the
from
demons and stuff will be drawn to eating him first. Fringe says, just very matter of factly.
from a religious standpoint, whether you think this is a logical conclusion or not, from a religious standpoint, you do know at this point, Cambions never fully get rid of the corruption that they have as being part devil. So no matter what Father Stone does in his life, he will always descend to hell first to have that burned out of him before he can go to the underworld. Now, however people interpret that, the fact that he can never fully get rid of his corruption, that is up to interpretation. But it is actually a true thing in this setting, in this world, that if you are born as a Cambion, you always have some of that devil's corruption in you. So you're never completely free of that.
And
So
the elves have to make sacrifices to devils on a schedule.
Yes, that is also a thing that there is part of a bargain where elves do have a deal with the devils, literally, to provide a certain amount of sacrifice to them because it helps to keep the world nice and safe.
I mean, there's no reason that we have to go into the Forest of Screams immediately, right? We could take another day if we had to.
Sure.
Okay. So
I can
Kane
make more
wants to-
bombs. Finn says.
Kane wants to actually talk to Father Stone and see if he can, I don't want to say divine, but sense, where Father Stone is now after all this, and if he can find out what's going on with him. Because obviously Kane was close to Father Stone originally, and then since he was busy with stuff, and he doesn't really know what happened since he was incarcerated in the keep, or since he's been subjected to Fringe's chicken hut.
Right.
And also, Abby will convince Fringe to give her the key for the manacles to allow Kane to walk with Father Stone.
Okay. So,
I will do so on one condition, she says. You must eat my stew.
oh God.
I'm terrified of this.
All
prospect.
of you must eat my stew. She points to Victus, especially Victus.
Is this your forceful excretion already? Oh, painful. Sorry.
No, but I must collect the droppings. It's very important, she says.
God.
Oh man.
All right. So I guess that's
Fine.
what I would like to do. Yeah, that's fine.
Done. She tosses you the keys. They will go about making her stew.
Okay.
And Abby will monitor what she's putting in the stew.
Much appreciated.
Knowing that Fringe is doing this to collect material for her bombs, I'm picturing like lots of spicy things. That's
Lots of spicy things, a little bit of nitrous, just like a touch of nitrous.
so.
Is it harder to collect that type of feces? I'm just,
She'll
When it's
have like
liquid
buckets
instead
for
of-
you guys.
Oh,
They're hanging
okay.
off the back of the chicken hut.
Chamber pots.
Oh man. So the keys. Everyone gets ready for their stew, and Kane and Father Stone walk just a bit away from the camp so nobody else can hear them talking. What would you like to talk about, my old friend?
Well, I want to ask you what is going on. I mean, I heard from them what happened, but I'd like to hear from you in an attempt to figure out where he's sitting mentally, I guess.
To be absolutely fair, I was lost when I was arrested. I was essentially I was catatonic. I was not going to take any actions whatsoever. I was going to let fate happen to me. And your friends actually did a wonderful job of telling me that I still have a part to play. I still have a destiny. It would be wrong for me to have just sat back and allowed destiny to happen to me and remove myself from the story. Now, Abigail had convinced me that perhaps I should spend the rest of my life doing what I had done before, trying to do good things. And while I deep down felt that might be futile in the face of the province falling into war and the world potentially ending, I thought, well, at least it would be doing something even if it didn't do any good. But then the elf talked to me, and the elf reminded me of why I felt catatonic to begin with, and that is, I know that I'm damned. Ultimately, I feel like I could cause more harm than good with any action that I take, so it was perhaps safer for me not to take any action. But the elf convinced me that I have a part to play, so perhaps if I take any action, even if those actions have negative repercussions, maybe those negative repercussions were meant to happen as well. I can't tell you exactly what I'm planning on doing, but I know I need to take definitive, decisive action. I am looking for that moment in time that I will seize and make that moment my mind. It will be my moment, and that was the moment I was conceived for. So, as you can see, I'm feeling perfectly fine. I'm just looking for my moment in destiny to come up, but I'm focused on looking for that moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, your new demon lord.
I think Widow's Cry is going to have some competition for the tablet.
Yeah.
Widow's
What
Cry has no
direction?
idea what you're talking about.
So you're no longer interested in redeeming yourself as much as you can?
Well, I know I can't fully redeem myself. I will always have this corruption on my soul. I'm not saying that my actions won't be good for some people. That's totally not what I'm saying. I am saying that in the moment, I need to analyze that moment and make the most of that moment and ride that moment into the ground and have that moment cause the same kind of conflagration that any explosive, important moment necessarily has. And if that is an explosion of goodness for everyone, then I will ride the flames of goodness as they wash over the burnt corpses of people that need goodness to burn them. Or something like that.
Vegas can hear this conversation going. As Vegas hears this conversation going on, he's like sampling.
They're far enough away they can't hear us, that we can't hear them.
And
He can if
you wish.
I don't care.
Yeah, I got a pretty awesome perception too. So, and I tend to like follow Kane around like a lost puppy. But the 2 cents that Vegas offers is to Father Stone. Is like, well, you're saying that because you've got a stain of corruption on you, therefore you have to go all in. That's akin to spilling a bit of food in your chest and saying, well, I guess I have to put the whole meal on there.
It is a
I
mess.
see there being some. I guess Vegas is kind of hungry too.
Vic just wouldn't
Wanders off after. He shared his pearl of wisdom and he starts wandering off towards the smell of stew.
So I was gonna say, actually, they Kane and Father Stone wandered off so that they couldn't be easily overheard. But yeah, well, as soon as like Father Stone starts talking about the flames of goodness burning the corpses of those that need good to happen to them, his voice raises, and Victus notices this and like comes over there and adds that, and he Father Stone looks over at Vigdis and says, "Your people believe in fate and destiny, don't you?
Yes.
Do you always know what that fated destiny is, or do you just know that it's coming and to look for the moment that it's coming?"
We know when it comes, but we also know not to try and force it. It's a fool who tries to force fate to his will.
But what if that drop of stew on your clothing is telling you that your destiny is the stew falling in your lap?
Then I would suggest that you comes from after it's spilled in your lap. It's not your a singular action. The fate is the consequences of that. He's talking this like well, how do you not know what weird is? I just assumed all of you guys. Do none of you guys know what fate was?
I will consider your words. And he looks at Kane and Vigdis and goes, "I'm almost certain, and I don't know because the moment hasn't gotten here yet, but I'm almost certain that if there is any negative repercussion to the moment that I was conceived for, I'm almost certain neither one of you needs to suffer any backlash for that. And I'm not saying that because I would choose to do anything bad. I'm saying that fate might use me as an instrument to do things, and I'm almost certain that fate would never cruelly turn me against someone like Kane, or even a wise person like Vigdis here."
Vigdis looks around to see if he's talking about someone else. No, that Vigdis will turn and like he's satisfied that he's shared his 2 bits, and as he's walking away too, you see that because he heard Father Stone's voice getting up too, he's had his hand on his sword this entire time. He can take his hand off his sword.
So Father Stone turns back to Kane and goes, "Don't worry. You have been and always shall be my friend."
Kane's pretty decided that, or he has decided now that Father Stone has already decided what he is going to do, and he's just as crazy as the rest of the group now. So Kane will pretty much just give up on it and say, sometimes you just spilled some stew on the front of your shirt. It doesn't have to mean anything else. Stew's just stew.
Suspicion, like someday in the future, if the world doesn't end, when Kane is speaking to a congregation of followers, this is like, could you say some words to the congregation, Kane? Sometimes stew is just stew. That's
Hello, Kane did say that, and sometimes stew is just spilled on your shirt, and it was wise.
oh man.
Abby might be there for that sermon, chuckling in the back as she understands the references.
Oh man. So at this point, you guys have spent a few more hours. It's midday. Fringe has made stew for everyone.
Hold on, I have the ingredients of Fringe's stew prepared.
Oh dear.
Is this kind of like what goes in the hot dog? Maybe best not to know.
Oh man.
Well, Abby's made sure none of it's poisonous.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That'll.
Interesting.
Really? Really? Unidentifiable meat.
I'm sure. I mean, you guys just killed a drake the other day. I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's where that meat is coming from.
Of
Sure.
course.
So, Fringe is getting the stew ready, and as Fringe is getting the stew ready,
Ugh.
you guys notice a figure emerging from the forest.
Oh, boy.
And as you look over to the figure emerging from the forest, you see, before when you were in the forest, you saw the big lumbering creature larger than even Vigdis is. And he was the big bloated thing that threw up on you, the ogres that you ran into before. And you see this big, smelly, bloated humanoid creature, except this one is even larger than the last one you saw, and it's got a horn coming out of the center of its forehead. In its arms, it is carrying 3 wooden statues. And in addition to carrying the 3 wooden statues, there is a somewhat cherubic-looking creature that has bright red skin and a few scales and little horns that's kind of like circling around the horned ogre as it walks out of the woods, and it starts walking towards your camp. What does everyone do at this point?
Fringe yells that there's not enough stew.
Are we
Vigdis
talking
draw
head
his-
words too?
Can we assume that we're still in armor and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was midday, and before you decided to stop and have stew and conversations, you were getting ready to go out. So yeah,
Okay.
I would say that's reasonable.
So yeah, Vigdis will just sort of take point, and if this thing gets any closer, he'll be ready to get in, and then he'll defer to whatever. He's going to wait to see what everyone else is actually doing before he starts hitting stuff.
Are they in earshot yet?
They just emerged from the forest line, so probably not quite yet.
Magic acorns.
Okay.
I'll ask if we're here to meet anyone.
Spellbind my weapon. Because that lasts for 4 hours, so why not?
Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as Kane knows, that you guys just had your map to where the entrance to the underworld was inside the forest, and there was nothing else going on besides that.
How far away are we at this point from the entrance?
You're only about a day away from where the entrance is at. It's not too far into the Forest of Screams.
Are these things coming from that direction?
Oh yeah, they emerge from the tree line.
Okay.
And the ogre did, though, even though it was fairly far away. You're almost certain it heard the word stew. And it keeps lumbering towards the camp with the armload of these three statues.
Fringe will run to her hut and go to pick up Father Stone so he can man the slingshot.
Can we see what the statues are of?
They're at this distance, they just kind of look like they're carved statues of people.
Do they look like they would have been carved by, like, are they fairly,
They look
crude?
really intricate.
Okay.
Is this a wood Medusa? Instead of turning everyone to stone, she just turns into wood.
Surprise ending of the campaign.
I was actually going to make a really bad joke about Abby being a wood Medusa, but anyway.
Hey now.
Wow.
Hey,
Jared, you get
I
fortune for
gave the
that.
explicit warning at the beginning of the session.
Hey, yeah. Hey, wait a minute. That's still going to happen here. I'm hoping for nonviolence, but you know, we've got a devil cherub and
So everyone,
ogre friend.
everyone basically prepares themselves. The ogre is within a few steps of the camp, and it stops, and that's one statue down. That's another statue down. That's the third statue down. You guys do remember from meeting one of the witches, one of the statue, and also because Fringe looked like that witch for a year.
Several years. It's the longest time.
That one of the statues looks like the image that Fringe had, and the other two are different females and wearing basically kind of eccentric, different types of eccentric clothing with different weird hairstyles, and all three of them are the same. Like, it's hard to tell what age they are. They seem like they're not young, but they don't quite look completely withered. They're just kind of strange looking with odd clothing and hairstyles. And the ogre sets down these three statues in front of him, and it kind of like bows its head, and the three statues start to move.
All right. I'm going to
Still-
tap Vigdis on the shoulder and say, well, I guess we should go see what they want. So I'll walk over there towards them.
I'll
Yep.
stomp along next to him.
And as will Abby.
So the three statues look at you and go, "It is the one that looks like the image that Fringe stole." Looks up at you and goes, "Oh, it is good to see you again.
As it is to see you.
And I am very glad that you delivered my message to the elves. They should be working on that aspect of saving the world, but I realize that you are not following that same path." And the other two statues kind of nod gravely, like, it's very sad that you didn't decide to do that yourselves. Now, we are, however, interested in making sure that the world doesn't end. So we are willing to hedge our bets by making sure that you have all of the tools that you need to save this sad little world that we all live on. And all three of the statues take a moment to nod in agreement. So we would like to propose something to you. There is actually a tomb within the underworld that was set up by adventurers that were brazen and bold. And within this tomb, these adventurers set out to recover souls from the underworld in defiance of the gods. Inside this tomb are wondrous treasures that they recovered. And if you are willing to make a side trek there, you may have all of the tools that you need to make you the most effective troll slayers possible. So, and then they go, all you need, obviously, since from our sources we understand you have a map in through the underworld, you will need a guide to take you to this tomb. We are offering our services and giving you this guide. And you see the cherubic, flying imp creature kind of like lands on the ogre's shoulder and nods at you like, this is the guide they're sending with you. He will be able to take you to the tomb, and you will be able to brave its different traps and foibles. And at that point, you will be armed better than any heroes of this age have been. All
We
you
also
take our guide with you.
This is not really Vigdis's strong suit, but he doesn't really trust them, so he wants to see if there's. Can I make a roll to see if they're fibbing?
Sure, you can make a roll to read the wooden visages that are speaking to you.
Yeah,
I will give me 3 banes on that, though.
that sounds about right.
Does he get a boon, though, because he's seen Fringe as one of them with the same facial expressions from several years?
Yeah.
You know what? I would, except that Fringe is so unique in how Fringe expresses being that particular character. I don't know that you would learn anything about how the original version
Just ask him.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a boon from my alertness, so that cuts it down to 2 Banes.
Guidance for two. Guidance for 2 to make you net 0.
Oh, sweet. Nice. Okay, so let's see here.
Like
Thank you for
everyone
that.
deferring to Vigdis's wisdom to read these people.
I got a 13 in total.
All right. You get the feeling that from everything she said, yes, she wants you to succeed in saving the world. You also know they're holding something back. That's not the only reason they're offering this help.
Okay, I will lean forward. Hey, King, do you speak Trollish?
I have learned another language, but I don't know what it is yet. I have common and something else I didn't pick. I don't even know what it is. It could be Trollish if you'd like.
Well, I guess those things may speak Trollish as well, too. But I was thinking I could pass you a message to let you know that they're holding something back.
Okay.
That would actually be kind of funny to speak Trollish in front of the ogre, as if like not even thinking that it might speak Trollish.
Yeah. I don't think this Hector speaks Spanish. Quick.
So yeah, Vigdis passes on that he thinks they're holding something back from this arrangement. Now, the other thing that we're going to say is you're going into the very, very dangerous underworld. Anytime that you run into anything that might harm your body or your soul, you might start to forget who you are. So we have something to help you with that as well. And we will offer it freely if you accept our guide. And the imp dives into a bag on the ogre's back and pulls out and holds up things that look like blindfolds. These will help you in the underworld.
Does anybody else have any knowledge of the underworld and if this is a good idea or a bad idea?
I can make an occult roll.
Sure.
There's nothing of the underworld.
And you can do that with 1 boon because you actually discussed this a bit with
Sweet.
Eris last session.
22.
Well, from what your discussions with Eris and your version of the underworld is a little bit different than this, because in your version of the underworld, people die and they get into fights, and every time they get into a fight and they come back the next day, they forget a little bit about who they were, because that's how Valhalla works compared to the traditional underworld.
And it's awesome.
That's how they lose their identity, is by dying every day in a fight. But yeah, from what Eris was saying and what you've picked up from other stories, yeah, just being in the underworld for a certain period of time, your personality and who you are just starts to wear away. So it is possible that if you had something that kind of shielded you from seeing the enormity of the end of your spirit, it might be helping you. But so you guys are a little ill prepared for going in there.
So we need to wear blinders? Are these actual blindfolds or blinders that just keep us looking in like one direction?
Are you asking that out loud?
Well, I'll put my hand out to see if I can examine one.
They're just a length of cloth that you would tie around your head. If you look at it, they let you examine it, and if you examine it, you notice the cloth is fairly thin. It obstructs your vision a little bit, but it's not like a thick cloth where you couldn't see through it at all.
I think this will look back to Widow's Cry and see how he's reacting. Because Widow's Cry's not been exactly shy in sharing his opinions about things, so he wants to see what his take on these 3 witches are.
He's not really sure what their game plan is. I mean, everyone has an agenda, yeah, and he's kind of trying to figure out why we need their thin cloth when now we know we need thin cloth.
Do you say that out loud?
Sure.
So the witch statue that you have conversed with before chimes in. That's because these are enchanted. They will filter out the madness and the scouring depression of the underworld and allow you to see things more as a mortal would see things in the mortal world. I'm very sorry. They immediately say, hold up a hand to you. However, it will blunt some of the edges of the erosion of oneself in the underworld.
And why do you want to send your imp to the underworld?
Because he will guide you to the tomb so that you can get more weapons to defeat your enemies. Why else would we send the imp other than to make him a guide? He's an excellent guide.
Don't we already know that we can kill the troll oracle or whatever he is?
You know, if you kill him, it's important. You don't really know much about his defenses.
Yeah, this is Kev asking, not Vigdis.
Oh. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you guys didn't ask much about his defenses. You just knew that he's there and you could kill him.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't
I
think
believe
that
it
this.
had come up that he is not a normal troll. He has some sort of protections around him. You might still be able to kill him.
The imp is no weirder than everybody else that we're traveling with already, Vigdis. So to me, it's like, what's one more person I don't quite trust? I guess that I trust even less than the other people, but
Yes.
The pedigree of imps in this world.
They are devils, but they are also, by extension, because of what devils are, they are fairies. Now,
That's one more devil.
Widow's Cry, make me an Arcana check.
Boon for Scholar of Magic.
Yes.
it is obvious.
21.
It occurs to you that when you guys go into the underworld, you and Fringe may not be affected by this losing of the personality thing. That is a mortal affliction.
Yeah, it's kind of actually. I had actually been kind of thinking that. Okay, sure, it'll scour my mortal soul away. Ooh.
Fringe is an amnesiac, so
Oh man.
So
So
At this
yeah,
point, you know what's one more devil? If one is a good piece of bait, a second is also a good piece of bait.
oh man. All right. So we have two people that are both mortal that stepped away before we make this decision of whether or not to.
Sorry.
No,
I think we have to have it.
If the fairy creatures were like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Mm. Vigdis will defer to whatever Abby and Kane decide.
Yeah, I think we need to do it because I don't want. It's not going to help me losing my abilities or my memory or anything like that.
I think Vigdis missed the session where you guys actually encountered these witches before.
No, the one witch we met, she was in the chicken hut.
Oh, right. Oh, Vigdis didn't like her. Kind of rubs his chest.
Yeah, the chicken hut stood on Victus.
Yeah.
So they're like, will you accept our guide?
So basically what we're really agreeing to is going to this tomb, which we weren't going to do before, and letting this guy go with us.
Yes. Although, I mean, you could get in the underworld and say, we're skipping the tomb. We're going to follow our map. But thanks for coming with us because we have these neat blindfolds now. It's up to you guys.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, I've got a dragonbone bow, but I don't know if we're actually equipped to deal with any kind of actual significant threat.
You did. Kane didn't see this yet, but last session they got a spear, a shield, and plate armor. But I don't know who all has all that.
No, yeah, and most of it they decided was for you.
Yep. I've already got plate armor, so plus
Okay.
16.
I guess I don't know what it is, so you will have to tell me.
I passed on the shield because it's made out of iron.
The
With plate and a shield, you should have an armor or a defense now of 20.
Okay, so it's full plate, not the plate and mail.
yes,
Yeah.
and the the spear three times ever. You can decide to sharpen its edge as you're attacking, and it does an extra d6 of damage. But it only can do that 3 times ever. The shield, you can go insubstantial 3 times ever. And the plate, you get to add your level to your healing rate.
Whoa, that's awesome.
That's 3 times ever or always?
No, that's just always on the plate.
Okay.
Nice.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay.
Like, are these somewhere? We got these from somewhere special, or
The when they exorcised the demon from Horus, the dwarf that is the warden of Midkeep handed them over as payment because he was very thankful. So they are of dwarven make.
Cool.
All right. So the imp is holding out its the blindfolds to everybody, waiting to see if you guys take them.
I think I'll need 2. Mm.
And the witch, for some reason, the other 2 witches are like nodding in agreement and paying attention, but there's only one that's speaking to you, and it's the one that's already talked to you, and you're not quite sure what's up with that. But she looks at you and she goes, "We made them in batches of 7 because we can only make them in batches of 7."
Is there some like significance to that number, or
You,
this is again Kev asking, not Vigus.
yeah, I mean, it's something they said. You're not really sure about how their witchy magic works because these aren't like witches like Abigail witches. These are like Infernal Pact witches.
Question, since I just gone for a minute. Will the imp bring us back to at least our starting point?
Oh, the imp, he'll know. Well, I mean, you'll be going into the underworld, so it's a side trip into the underworld, and then you can go back to your trip to wherever the portal to the void is at in the underworld.
Right, but I want to make sure that we aren't left to our own devices. Once we are at the location where we receive the troll slaying equipment.
Oh, I mean, it's definitely it's there to be your guide once you accept it. So he'll take you where you ask it to go. He's very literal.
Very literal. That's good to know.
So as the conversation goes on, you notice like the ogre is like inching over towards the stew pot.
Oh no. Friend in the chicken hut. Get between him and the stew pot.
You realize he'd be a great source of the materials you need. He's quite large.
I say we do it.
She thinks about it.
Abby?
I'm gonna agree.
All right, so it doesn't matter what the biggest thinks then. No.
I mean, yeah, if something's gonna help us defeat this troll, especially if he's ensorcelled as strongly as what we believe, then yeah, we need all the help we can get.
Everyone else thinks so too?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Like you're
All right.
still eating my stew, right?
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm a man of my word.
So I think everyone still had Fortune from last time when you had the really nice sunny day.
I
And
do not.
Abby,
No, a lot of us used it.
well, that's what I was going to say. Abby, I'm giving Abby one
Yeah.
for using the word ensorcelled just because I like the word ensorcelled. So everyone has Fortune now.
I'm not sure
Yay!
that was the proper way to put it in there, though. Ensorcelled makes me feels like he was captivated magically somehow and told to do something. As
Or had
opposed
spells
to,
cast on him. So, I mean, you know.
okay. All right. I guess I won't take it away from you.
I'm good with getting Fortune back, especially where we're going.
So as soon as you guys agree, the imp hands out all of the, and it'll keep any extra blindfolds that you guys don't need. So it flies up to each of you. It doesn't pay any attention as to whether you are mortal or immortal as it's handing out the thing. So it's up to our fairy creatures if they want to take a blindfold.
Fringe will take one for Father Stone.
Well, it flew up to Father Stone anyway because, wanted to make sure he had his blindfold.
Are Cambions fairy as well?
She'll take one, but she won't put it on. I mean, she'll just keep it around for tying it on somebody else later and doing experiments.
Yeah, I'll grab one.
Because, why not have the safest possible?
And so the blindfolds are protecting us?
Once you get into the underworld. You don't need to wear them now, necessarily.
Okay.
Vic just takes his off then.
Yeah, Victus, you notice yours fits. Like, even though it didn't look as big when it was handing them out, it reaches around and you can wrap it around your head.
Okay.
So, interesting. They have iron vulnerability, so I'm not sure if they count as a fairy or not. But Father Stone's taking one way or the other.
Mm.
All right, so everyone has Fringe's stew.
Apparently.
The ogre picks up the 3 wooden statues and puts them back in his arms and starts to walk away. And the one witch statue waves at you, and the imp waves back at her.
Oh, this is going to go terrifyingly.
The ogre gets back in the tree line. You guys all have French stew for better or ill. And
Definitely ill.
For ill for sure.
so the night passes.
Fringe hands out chamber pots that look like they have seen better days. Make sure that you catch all of it.
The night passes, and so does the stew. And the next morning, what are you guys doing as you get ready to head into the Forest of Screams?
I'm gonna make some Puputov cocktails. Is what I'm gonna do.
I'm going to. Are there any like acorns or anything nearby?
I mean, if you go up closer to the tree line.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure I refill my stock because
Okay.
I've been casting magic acorns quite frequently.
All right. So
Maybe send a prayer to the cult of the new god, or to the new god, I guess is what I should say.
Mm.
I don't know. You're not part of the Legion, are you?
No. Just my own guy.
So you collect your last minute things and you head into the Forest of Screams according to your map. We determined last time Kane was busy while this was, well, actually Kane was part of this, but you don't remember. It was a flashback scene.
Well, how many Puputov cocktails do I end up getting out of all this refuse?
Let's see. Wow. That looks like 3 usable ones.
Nice, thank you.
So basically, after everyone had their visions with the stranger, they pieced together maps, and everyone rolled really well to piece together their map to the forest. So there is not really a chance of getting lost at this point. I will roll to see if something bad happens in your trip in here, but nothing unfortuitous happens on your way to where the map is leading you inside the Forest of Screams.
Yeah, giant Drake was probably the worst possible result there.
Never say worst possible result.
Why would you say that out loud?
Giant Drake mate is the worst possible result.
Good
Yeah.
point.
Mama.
Mate and pups.
So as you're traveling a little bit, you see like there's a few trees that are especially noteworthy, and it's like, okay, this should be the tree that we saw in our vision. So you turn this way, you see like this calls for a certain clearing, you see a certain hill, and as you travel in those directions, you finally see like this glade that kind of descends. And it's ringed by trees, but it's almost like this bowl in the middle of the forest. do you head down into that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So as you head down into this bowl in the middle of this ring of trees, you see what appears in the side of this hill to be a stone gate.
Hmm. Is there any writing on the gate?
There is none.
Well, time
is
to
an
camp.
Hmm?
Time to camp. No one wants to go into the underworld after a day of walking.
This is the tomb, isn't it?
Yeah, it hasn't been day yet, right?
Yeah, it's been about 8 hours or so. I said
Oh,
a day, but I did the adventuring day, like it's 8 hours, not 24 hours.
yeah. So we probably don't need to camp in the bowl, right? We want to go up. The bowl's only 100 yards across or something, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go back out of the bowl onto the rim and camp.
All right. So, would everyone like to give me a perception check?
Okay. Just as a reminder, I can't be surprised.
Yes.
I got a 15.
We got a 17.
I got a 22.
20?
All right. So I was just basically Vigdis couldn't be surprised, but if Vigdis noticed something and no one else did, I was going to let him alert everyone. But
Sure.
Vigdis already kind of pointed this out. You're noticing in the trees around the bowl, you can't make out things yet, but there's movement in and out of the trees as if something is darting in between them. You're almost certain that if something was there, you would be able to see it, but like trees are rustling, rocks are skittering around, tree branches, so there's something out there that is either too small for you to see or you just can't see it for some reason, and it's moving around the tree and like circling this bowl.
Okay. I'm letting everyone know. Maybe someone with better peepers than me will be able to see what the hell that is.
I had a 20. I don't know if I can get much better than that.
Yeah, I rolled 22, so
Yeah, it's not. You're picking out like this movement, but you're not really picking out the things.
I will sense enemies.
All right. And what specifically does that allow you to sense?
For 1 minute, no creature within medium range can hide from you, and your attack rolls against creatures within medium range ignore the effects of obscurement.
it's awesome.
What you get this feeling, and it's not a matter of you actually physically seeing them, but through your divine abilities, you're seeing the outline of these spirits that they were up around the circle of the bowl, and after everyone spotted them, they're actually getting closer now. So they are one area away from you. There's the bowl, the entrance, and the tree line, and they're at the tree line, so they're one area away from you, but like no one else can see these, but that they're there. So they're invisible to everyone else.
Yeah, I'll call out to the spirits and say that I can see them, and what is it they wish?
And everyone hears. What's that?
While he's doing that, I am binding my weapon again.
Okay. And everyone can hear the answer, even though they can't see. Like, you don't know who Kane is talking to, but everyone hears the answer as they call back, and they're like, "We are so hungry. There is so little left of us after we escaped, and we must feed. We need your warmth."
If you approach us, you will be destroyed.
We cannot be destroyed. We just need your warmth.
Oh, they can't be destroyed? All right, now I'm nervous.
Well, that's what they said.
Okay.
You're the exorcist here.
You're the exorcist.
I'm not really exercising anything from anyone, so...
So we still can't see these things, right?
No, only Kane can see them at this point.
Well, what do you have to offer in exchange for our warmth?
We just need warmth. And you get the feeling these things aren't all there enough to bargain. Anyone, if anyone is trained in, well, anyone can attempt this, but if you're trained in religion, you get a boon if you want to try and piece together what's going on here.
Okay. That's
Nope.
a good idea. Oh, I got a natural 20.
Wow.
Right.
Hey, the Exorcist knows about this stuff.
22.
Yeah, I'm actually not all that religious.
So you get the feeling these are probably, if this is a gate to the underworld, if these are souls that escape the underworld, they probably have coalesced into phantoms in this world. Whenever they attack, they will they'll be visible to people, but as they're just moving in, they cannot be seen.
Do I know how powerful they are? I mean,
They're barely dangerous, and you're seeing about 8 of them.
Eesh.
okay. Well, since they said they can't be destroyed, I'm going to shout out that you are wrong, and I'll leap out to attack one to show them that I can see them and destroy them.
All right. So Kane will get to do this before anyone else does anything because they haven't attacked yet, and Kane knows exactly where they are. So if you want to move up to them to the tree line and hack at one. So Kane is one area away from everyone else at the tree line, and he goes ka-chunk into one of them. So give me your attack roll.
Oh, nice. So I got a 15. That would be plus, it's your strength, right? Plus 2, I think. So 17. And how many, like, I have a boon from this, or I can just see them. Here, I'm sorry, I've got to figure out what I'm doing here.
I think you can just use other people can.
Okay, I have a weapon training. So that would be a 21.
That definitely hits it.
All right, so I'm going to use a Divine Smite on it.
Okay.
So that would be 1, 2, so 4d6. So like on Combat Mastery and Combat Expertise, I can either choose to take another attack or add a d6. Do I have to decide that now?
No.
Okay, so I can just take another attack later if that's what I need to do. Right? I can take another attack this round, so okay. All right, so that's pretty good. 15, 18 points.
All right. So with 18 points, you were using a weapon.
I'm assuming, yeah, these guys are spirit or undead, so I got an extra d6.
Yes.
So, yep. All right, that's right.
So you definitely it harms it as you cleave through the thing. Part of its essence kind of like scatters to the wind, but you know you didn't hit it nearly as hard as if it had a physical body. So it is somewhat resistant to your weapon, but it's not fully immune once you could see it and stab it in the right place. So you scattered part of its essence. It is not gone yet, but it is damaged.
All right, so I guess I have to attack another one then, because I can't just add the damage onto this one, I'm assuming, right?
Well, did you get another attack? Because you could attack this one again if you wanted.
Well, no, the combat, one of them's Combat Mastery says I must choose a different target.
Ah, gotcha.
Each
Yes,
attack.
yeah, you can swing over at another one of the phantoms then.
Okay. Okay, so this was 20 exactly.
That definitely hits.
So here I'll do the same thing, except I'm going to add the other one in for damage. So I'll roll 5d6 on this one. Oh, nice. So this is 24.
All right.
That's crazy.
So the second one that you hit, you notice as you cleave through the second one, like almost nothing is left. Like you're seeing these spirits as like really thin, normal, people that are just like really, like they haven't eaten or drank anything for a while. when you hit the first one, part of its essence goes spinning off and it's kind of moving slower. When you hit this one, you literally ripped everything except for there's a floating, spectral rib cage and arms and a head. You get the feeling that you almost destroyed this one outright, except there's still enough there that it's holding itself together. But you ripped away anything that even looked living at this point.
Okay.
So, now that Kane did that, Kane's up by the tree line, which is a separate area, and we're going to go into turns. It might be tricky for other people, but I believe it's just 3 Banes if you want to try and attack something that you can't see if you're going by where Kane is telling you they're at. So who would like to take a fast turn this first turn?
I will take a slow.
Okay.
Slow.
All right.
I will certainly take a fast turn, but I'll let anyone else go first if they have something they want to do.
Okay. Anyone else taking a fast turn? Kane?
No, slow.
Yeah, I'll go slow.
Okay. Kane, what would you like to do?
I will attack again.
All right.
I'll try and slash. I'm gonna attack an unwounded one, and then I'm gonna use my 2 other attacks to attack the 2 wounded ones.
Gotcha. That sounds like a good plan.
Dang, this is a 21. I'm doing pretty well here. All right, so 1, 2, 3. I'm not using Divine Smite though.
Okay.
So 1. Yeah, I'll just use it for this one. That'll make it easier. 4. So this was 17.
All right. So the first one you hit doesn't go away, but you part of its essence cleave away as you do that.
All right, the 15. Does that hit for the other one? The wounded ones?
15 just barely misses.
Oh wait, I didn't add my strength, so 17.
That does hit.
Nice. So that would only be these.
Well, it's
Is
really
that on the one that is very wounded, or the one that is not completely dead?
It was the not completely. The first one that I attacked is what I was thinking.
okay.
So that would be 13.
All right. So that one is in the same shape as that one you hurt extremely badly.
Oh dang! I thought I'd kill it. All right, so I missed the other one.
Jeez.
Um,
So there's 3 wounded ones.
Would you like to spend your fortune to take that one out, or just get it?
I better get one of these down. So that automatically hits. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. If you spend your fortune, you automatically.
Okay. All right, I'll do that just because I was trying to get the minimum amount of attacks on my companion.
Yeah, I was just gonna say because otherwise you just drew aggro from 3 of them.
Yeah, well, I'm fine with that. 12 damage.
All right, so that will eliminate one of them. So there is only the one slightly wounded and the one badly injured one there. What's really funny at this point, you know that there's something there because it talked back to Kane, but right now, literally everyone just saw Kane run towards the tree line and start swinging his sword around.
My spear. The spear is what I'm
Yeah, he
using.
started spearing things that you guys still can't see.
Stew was good to him, Fringe says.
Man. So, the phantoms around Kane are going to take a fast action, and those are going to use a triggered action to manifest. But Kane already can see them. So you take a triggered action to manifest. This doesn't affect you, but everyone else that can see them, give me. They are actually horrifying. So give me a will test.
Okay.
Dun, dun.
Abby fails.
All right.
Vegas passes.
All right.
Will's card passes. with a 10.
All right. So in that case, that I guess it's just Abby, or did how did
20 plus 1, no boons. Oh, natural 20, 21, nice.
okay? So Abby, you are frightened, and you also take a point of insanity.
Hey.
You are frightened for a number of turns equal to your insanity score.
So 2 turns.
All right, so Abby's a little scared once these things manifested. And those two, they use a triggered action, and now they're going to attack the Exorcist. They reach out with their bony claws to touch you and drain the life force from you.
Oh, you mean my warmth?
Yes.
Am I too much of warmth?
Ooh. I am going to guess that a 27 hits.
Yep, I have a 20.
So that one was very successful. That is 11 points of damage as you feel the warmth and vitality drain from your body.
Hi.
And the second one. That is only a 15, so the second one does not manage to touch you.
Good.
So that was those phantoms, and the rest of the phantoms are not going yet. So, who would like to take a slow turn? You can
We
see
can
two of
see
them
some of
now.
these things now, right?
What's that?
We can see some of these things now.
Yeah, you can see two of them, the ones that are by King. And they are one area away.
If you guys let Vigdis go first, you can use his scald thing to give boons to other people to try and hit them.
For it.
Okay, so I'm going to charge in. One of the ones that's closest to Kane, I will call out my battle cry of dibs.
Now that everyone that speaks Trollish knows what that means.
Yeah.
Widow's Cry.
Oh, nat 20, so that's 29 to hit this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get an extra dice because I rolled over 20 and rolled over 5, and I get my extra other thing. So 10, 21, 23 damage.
All right. So you run up there, and even with the lesser damage that does, because these are insubstantial things, you strike it, and as you cleave through it, it just like disperses into the mist, and that one goes away.
Awesome. I then
One
who would like
one left.
who would like 2 boons on their next attack?
Who wants 2 boons?
I think everyone will take boons, but I don't know if anyone's attacking other than I myself, I guess.
Actually, if Kane is over there and you've got the really injured one, actually, let's clear the one off of Kane, and then that way we've got everybody all together. Abby will attack.
Okay,
Sounds good.
So, yeah, Abby will go over and net 1 boon because she's frightened of this thing. But she's got that spear. So, yeah. Hey, including the net 1 boon, is 16 plus 6 plus -1, so for strength, so 21.
That hits.
All right. And then she does a grand total of 6 points of damage because she's
All right.
not near as combat savvy as the others.
Yes, but with the injuries that one has already taken, that soul also disperses into a mist and goes screaming into the void.
nice.
So there are, yeah, Kane can see there are 5 of them left. No one else can see them yet. Who else would like to take a slow turn? You can, you remember you can ready an action for when you can see one. That is a thing that you can do.
Hey, Kane, are they grouped together?
Good question.
They were all kind of in a line next to one another. After you started fighting these 3, the other 5 kind of drifted away, but they're all close to one another.
Close enough for me to like hit with a poo-poo top bomb.
Well, this is great. I thought I had that.
5-yard radius.
Yeah, I know. There's actually a conversion in the thing saying how many you can hit with area attacks, but I was horribly unprepared.
You woke up extra early today to prepare for this. How could you be horribly unprepared?
It's Jared, and
It's cool. Any more than 1 is fine for me to do the poo-poo top bomb. And I don't want to hit my allies, obviously.
Well, normally I wouldn't take this, but this is actually kind of important for area attacks, so I need to.
Yeah,
Alright.
because I have an area as well that I'm contemplating using, except mine's smaller.
Okay, so
And cannot possibly be as cool.
Probably
And
not.
I just anyone watching, poo-poo top bombs are a real thing. Read the news. It's
Yeah.
great.
It's page 16 of Forbidden Rules, Jared.
okay, and I went in the wrong folder. I have them organized by what the line is called, which is kind of a mistake because that doesn't always help you figure out where they're at. Okay, there it was. That was under poison pages. Okay, what did you say? 16.
Page 16 of Forbidden Rules, yeah.
Okay, so area effect. All right, so what is the area that it affects? What is the type of area? Is it a cone, cylinder, line, sphere? I'm assuming.
Radius. It's everything within 5 yards. Is the
so it'd be a sphere.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the sphere's radius in yards is the number of affected creatures.
Oh,
Yes.
so 5. Then I will definitely fire a poo-poo top bomb in that direction. Dun, dun, dun.
No one has engaged with them yet, so.
Fabulous. And let me see. Do I need to make yeah, I guess I make an attack roll, and then can I use my trickery on the attack roll? I think I can. Yep. And I'll deal an extra d6. Haha!
All right.
So 2 boons, and I got a plus dex 4. 31, which gives me an extra action, which I will use to fire another poo-poo tub bomb in the same spot.
Okay.
And can I use my trickery twice around? I can. And yep. Okay. All right. Same thing. Boom. Two hits. So poo-poo tub bombs. 3d6 plus 3, so 4d6 plus 3. $15 and 20.
All right. Oh, yes. Those did. I hate to ask this now, but did you add the three banes for not being able to see them yet?
Oh, I did not. Let me roll 3 banes. I had results of 31 and 29, so we'll just subtract. So 36. First one, so 31 minus 15. So 16.
It's only
And
minus the highest, yeah?
Yeah, you only add the highest and you only subtract the lowest.
oh, okay. So then I would only be doing a minus 1d6, and I would have rolled an 18 plus 4, so 22 minus 1d6.
Okay.
Results of 17. So I wouldn't have gotten the second poo-poo top bomb.
But you did hit.
Okay, and the first one does 15 points of damage.
15 points of damage,
Yes.
and you can hit 5.
Yes.
All right.
And then I will move away from wherever I was.
With the thunderous crack of the poop bomb, actually all of the phantoms scatter because that is not weapon damage.
Nice.
It's poop damage.
Yes,
Can't get around poop damage.
exactly. That was
So,
some.
yeah.
So,
Cackles and jumps into her chicken hut and pulls out like a flask that's covered in all kinds of wraps and bandages. Has a giant comical fuse out of it. She lights it on fire, pulls back the slingshot, disappears inside the hut part, and just flies out, strikes the ground, and emits a terrible smell and belch of smoke and flame as it explodes.
And you didn't even actually see, like, the only person that got to see the reaction of the phantoms as they were getting exploded with the shit bomb is Kane, and Kane just like sees this look of shock and horror on their faces as shit washes over their spectral forms and they disappear.
So the sonic damage killed them right away? Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah,
or?
it's not weapon damage, so it wasn't reduced.
Oh.
Did I hit them? She yells.
Yeah, Kane looks back surprised. It appears that you've chased them off. It must have been the stew.
So,
Just got one bomb in there. It's just got a big V scrawled onto it.
so now that this happened, you see the gates in the bowl in the hillside. Do you proceed inside?
No, I thought we were going to camp first before we go in.
Okay, you could do that.
Isn't that what our plan was?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep, works for me.
Good. Let's do that then.
You roll to see if anything bad happens. Not that it would.
Phantoms.
Oh, not that it would in a place called the Forest of Screams. So, you guys are camping here for the night, correct?
Yep.
All right. So, you guys are camping. You're all kind of decked out here. You're probably getting ready to sleep for the evening. Who would be taking your first watch?
I'll do it.
So, Vigdis,
Sure.
this is a good choice.
I don't think you mean that.
No, this is actually a good choice because Victus, you don't even need to roll for this. You're sitting there in camp looking at all of your friends like curled up for the evening, falling asleep. Your only company is the imp that's like flitting around. And through the gateway, you see something.
Picturing that the imp constantly, like, it'll land on his shoulder and he'll go, and it'll fly around a bit too, and it lands on his shoulder.
Flickers off, and you notice this thing coming through the gateway, and it is, oh yeah, okay. So first, Vigdis, give me a will test as you see this thing.
Okay. Yep.
So
13.
you see a creature, at least the size of you, wearing tattered robes. Its body appears to be made of bone. So it is this huge Jotun-sized skeleton. It's carrying a huge scythe. And it's coming through the portal, and it seems to be like sniffing the ground. And I will say, because you're a tracker, I will just give you this. You're betting it probably came through hunting the phantoms that escaped. Yeah. But right now you're seeing this huge, robe wearing skeleton carrying a scythe and sniffing the ground. What do you do at this point?
Well, okay, so because of where we camped, we're actually probably, at least 50 yards away from this thing.
Yeah, I'd say you're an area away. So yeah, you're at the edge of the basin and it's at the gate.
I'll move back, like keeping this thing in my set as much as I can. I'll kind of like go back and then poke at Kane to get him awake. Like, hey. I mean, not only is it his normal default to when something needs to hit, he gets Kane. When something needs to be talked to, he gets Abby.
Thanks.
But Kane also really he handled all of those other phantoms earlier today. He seems to know what this would be required. So he'll go and poke him awake. He'll blow that fucking imp off of himself again.
You notice when the imp sees this thing, the imp has the imp's eyes are huge.
Okay. I'm gonna grab the imp if I can too to keep it from reacting. Shut up, you stupid little. And then Kane, I'm like, something Something came looking.
Well, I'm gonna have to get up and check it out. And all right.
So when he wakes up, Kane, when you look over at this thing, could you give me a will test?
I was just thinking that.
Oops. Do I have a boon or anything?
No.
So that would be a 8.
Okay. So Kane, you pick up a point of insanity, and you are frightened for a round plus however many you have points of insanity at this point. Which I'm guessing you're on the lower end of this scale for the group.
Yeah. That makes 3. I have 3 points of insanity now.
So you're seeing this thing, and the bane that you're getting from being frightened will apply to it. You can give me a test to see if you recognize what this is.
I'm trying to see. Okay, divine vigor does not stop me from being frightened. All right, so a divine test. Oh, and I get a bane, you said?
Yes. Because you're frightened, so you're not quite thinking straight.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm just scared.
Okay. Yeah, so it just looks like a huge... I mean, this is... You would know just generally from religion, this is how Father Death is usually depicted, the god of death.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean... Yeah, you're probably sure a god didn't just come out to harass you guys. So, you see this. Are you waking up anyone else in the group?
Yeah, I'll sort of go around and jostle everyone to get them awake.
I have
All
a
right.
question.
Yes.
So if I use blessing, you cannot be frightened. So would that remove the affliction of being frightened?
I will say yes.
All right, so I think I'll do that. Basically, say a quick prayer to the new god and use blessing, and anyone who's near me that I can touch,
Cannot be
and I'll
frightened.
bless. Yeah, you can't be frightened.
Well,
And
that's
you
good.
make
Nice.
attack rolls and challenge rolls with a boon. My
Oh.
first actual cast of a spell. Do I have to do anything?
No,
No,
because
that
I mean
was
you're
it.
not engaged in combat right now. So, although
That's my favorite way.
Vigdis may want you to give Abby money if you reached out and touched her while she was sleeping, though. So,
Oh boy.
Hey,
It's
Jared,
ain't free.
What's
how many hours has it been since the?
it's only been about an
hour. Okay, good.
All right. So once Victus pokes her awake, she sees Kane touch her, and he's kind of looks nervous at the moment. So she's gonna go look over the ridge too.
So, Abby, you're a priestess of the old ways. Give me a test here.
Yeah, actually, she rolled a 22.
Okay. So Abby, when you see this thing, they are associated with Father Death, at least in your experience, but this is literally a reaper, and its job is to go out and find things that have not, taken their natural path into the underworld, or anyone that is violating the rules of the underworld. So it probably came out to hunt down those phantoms that escaped. It all depends on what you think of as far as violating rules of the underworld, as far as what's going to antagonize this thing. But right now, it's up on the ridge sniffing where the bomb went off.
Do you share this information?
Yes, actually.
You also know that these things are incredibly dangerous from everything that you have heard. Like, mortal heroes struggling against a Reaper, even legendary heroes, it's not like a story that, oh yes, the legendary hero killed the Reaper. It's, oh yes, the legendary hero may have injured the Reaper, and then it claimed the soul anyway.
Yeah, this is not something we're going to fight.
Yeah, what made me nervous
I
is when you
think
said,
that's
"Oh, we
overly
were-"
optimistic.
like there's more than one.
Yeah, there are multiple ones that scavenge around the underworld and any gates around it.
Yeah, I think this claim of we're not going to fight it is definitely overly optimistic for this group.
Oh.
So yeah, it basically the first turn when you guys woke everyone up, it moved up to the ridge line, which is another area away from you, and it started sniffing around. But now it's caught a scent of something.
Yeah.
Moving back.
Splitting around.
So also, Abby, you know that Reapers are usually invisible unless they are pronouncing judgment on something.
Uh-oh. Doesn't sound good.
I think our little impish friend is going to be getting us into the underworld early.
So yeah, it is. So currently, it is 2 areas away from you, and it's looking in your direction. What would everyone like to do at this point?
Widow's Cry's going to walk out with his crows and be like, "Welcome, brother. Well met."
God.
So the Reaper turns and looks over at you and, "Elf, immortal, you are not normally my quarry. What are you doing so close to this horrible entrance into the underworld?"
Well, there's a creature that's going to cause the death of many immoral beings, and so a Morgan, me, has been sent to make sure that he does not succeed.
"I cannot allow the living to come into the underworld. It is a violation of our rules. You must leave here now, lest I pronounce judgment upon you."
Well, we're not currently in the underworld, Bucko, so you can hold on a minute.
"I have not pronounced judgment yet. I am simply giving you a fair warning."
So, we need to get to this place. So far, the only way we know to get there is taking a shortcut through the underworld. If you know another way, we'll be happy to do that. If not, you're kind of standing between us and being able to stop a lot of people from inappropriately being sent to the underworld, because really, we immortal creatures don't like that.
"These questions are beyond my scope. I am simply here to enforce our rules." However, I will let you make a social test. You will get your normal one, and I'm going to give you another boon because you are a Morgan.
He has a boon from being blessed as well. This is a challenge. This is a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I hear Cerberus barking.
Yeah.
Could we send it after the phantoms that ran off? Oh no, they're dead. They were destroyed.
They're all dead.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he just knew that they escaped, so he was tracking them down to see what happened to them.
Well, we can also use that as information for him. We've also taken care of those phantoms for him.
Having used my fortune for a reroll, that would be a 21.
Well, actually, you don't need to re-roll. You just get a 20 then.
Oh, okay, sure. Woo.
Because I know we have to shift between what
Yeah.
what inspiration does on Thursday night and what fortune does. So yes, it goes, "I understand your plight, but I must be concerned about any violations of mortals coming into the
But
underworld."
I'm not mortal.
"Yes, but you have mortal friends."
Who killed the people you were tracking because you're slow?
"I'm not as young as I used to be." "I will say this, if you vouch for them and promise not to let any souls escape the underworld, I will not hinder your passage."
Vigdis shouts down, "You're terrible at your job!"
Abby kicks Vigdis in the
Okay,
shins
well,
and realizes he's wearing his armor and then starts hopping. Ow.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, sure, that's not a problem, but I'm pretty sure with that outburst, you're not going to believe me. So, how do we do this?
If you vouch for them, no matter how reckless and insane they are, I will let you enter the passageway. But if I notice you doing anything untoward when you are in the underworld, I will pronounce judgment upon all of your mortal friends.
This guy's just doing this until his band takes off.
Actually, we do have something else that we can actually help you with, since you are kind enough to let us through. There's a place in the underworld where previous so-called heroes were removing souls. We will go in and destroy that place for you in exchange for your free passage.
I know of this place that you speak, and it has been warded against us. This is an abomination. And like the trees like rattle when he says abomination.
We'll take care of it for you. You leave us to our merry way. And can you take us there?
And he goes, I could lead you there. I know where it is at. It will still be a dangerous trip for those that are not like myself. However,
they have eye bandages. It'll be fine.
However, I must have you promise that you will not just plunder this place or destroy its denizens. You must remove the wards on the place.
Absolutely.
There cannot be a spot in the underworld that we cannot tread.
That would defeat the entire purpose of representing death, now wouldn't it?
Yes. So,
guys, I might be confused here. Are we at the tomb to get those weapons to kill the troll dude, or are we at the entrance to the underworld right now?
You're at the
entrance to the underworld.
Oh, did we skip on that getting that gear? I thought that's why we had this.
That tomb is in the underworld.
Oh, sorry.
That's what we're talking about.
It's what's warded against.
Got it. Okay, thanks, guys. Sorry.
No, that's cool. So, at this point, though, like the imp, which is still like flying around Vigdis every once in a while until he shoos it away, the imp hears the Reaper saying this about guiding them to the tomb. And he goes, "Hey, but if you have another guide, what do you need me for?"
Precisely.
We don't.
But guys, I'm really important. I'm a guide.
Unless you think you can take our new guide in a fight, we don't need you.
But I'm here to keep an eye on you and make sure you don't wander off and fail to save the world.
Uh-huh. So, do we just call you Reaper? Do you have a name?
I do not have a name.
Did you have a name?
No, I have always been a Reaper of Souls.
You seem so happy about it.
So we will call you Mr. Johnson.
I shall be Mr. Johnson to you.
I was going to say we'll call you Ross. Reaper of Souls.
I will be Ross Johnson. So now that you have a second guide, what are you guys planning on doing with the imp?
Leaving him here?
Actually, what I will
wait, but the imp knows where the what do you call it, the weapons and shit are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So does the Reaper.
The guide know? Does Todd know, or Ross know where this is too?
Ross Johnson, yes.
Yes, he does.
Oh, I guess we don't need. Can I finally squish this thing then?
You could if you want to. And since you can't be surprised and you've been waiting for this, I will let you make an attack before even go to the round structure.
Okay. Before I do that,
I muted myself. Hold on. Is Father Stone with us?
Nod from either Abby or Kane. I kind of like dibs and smash it.
Yes, Father Stone is with you.
Okay, then you can kill the thing. It's fine.
I just rolled a 27.
Yeah, that hits.
I'm gonna be rolling like 66 damage. Do you need me to roll that or?
So the lowest damage you could do is 6.
Yep.
No, you don't need to roll that. So the imp gets cut in half. You see this poof of infernal flame pop up in the air there.
And I'll do my victory dance too. Yes.
So the
Abby is currently horrified that, oh my god, we're gonna die.
so the Reaper looks at all of you and goes, "You were sleeping when I arrived. If you would like to continue your sleep, I will just hover here watching you."
Outstanding. And the Morgan will go to bed.
Has anybody woken Fringe up, or she just slept through this whole thing?
Yeah,
I think
woke
Fringe
up.
slept through the whole thing.
Okay.
I think they said they poked everybody, I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I woke up everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Just to make sure that there's no chance that Death thinks that Kane is on Death's doorstep. Total healing on Kane.
Nope, completely healthy. No reason to do anything.
Anybody that was near the Phantoms, vitality burst as well. No chance.
So yeah, the Death is going to watch your camp for you while you guys sleep. It'll just hover over you.
Awesome.
Pleasant dreams.
Ross is a bit of a creeper.
No shit.
I like Ross.
It's like a thwap, 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 thwap noise coming from him at one point during the evening. Then again.
Oh God. Well, this is probably the most secure camp in the history of all adventuring camps that I've ever been in.
Yeah, it's
And
in
Abby
one
can
way.
now say she spent the night with Death.
Yes, I've slept with Death.
Mm.
So yeah, I mean, if you guys can get to sleep, you can, sleep under his guardian auspices here, and I'm sure you'll all be really well rested in the morning.
Abby is going to make a will check to see if she can fall asleep. She succeeds.
Well, during Fringe's turn to watch, he'll ask Death about Cluck the Chicken God, and if he has learned about the wonders of Cluck the Chicken God yet, and impart to Death.
That is not a thing that exists.
Oh, but it is. She gestures towards her chicken hut. As you can see, she has blessed me as her avatar on this world.
You do realize you don't need to keep watch with me here.
Yeah, Fringe will ignore all of its polite attempts to get her to go to sleep.
I'm perfectly okay with you sleeping now.
Click the chicken god will come and prove. Yes, he will.
No, that's not a thing.
It is.
Fringe is going to drive Death to madness. It would not surprise me to see our camp slaughtered in the morning.
Or the Reaper hanging from a tree.
I like the idea that Fringe just ends up being the spirit that wanders the world, because all the Reapers are like, no, just don't. Just stay away.
Okay, guys, I gotta tell you, there's this thing out there talking about chicken gods.
Just leave it alone.
Oh man! All right, so the Reaper watches over everyone in their sleep. You wake up refreshed in the morning, and what would you guys like to do at this point?
Prepare her spells.
Yeah.
Make sure she has food. The whole blindfold thing that protects her mind. Which I hope that was not tied to the imp.
They still seem to be functioning at the moment.
I just wish he thought of that before he squished them.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking.
Vigdus's still fits around his head, so they're obviously still enchanted.
Huh.
If you're wearing these, anything that requires vision, you do take 1 Bane on.
Okay.
So
You can see, but it's a little bit obscured.
yeah.
Is everyone ready to go?
Yep.
Yes.
Sorry.
As much as we're going to be.
All
Widow's
right,
Cry
Tom.
will wrap one around, or take his and like wrap it around one of his crows, just in case.
Yeah, you don't want your crows forgetting who they are.
Nah, if they die, they come back anyway. It doesn't really matter. So
All right, so death ushers you into the entryway here, and you see in the there is like this altar in the center of this area, and there is a basin which has been stained kind of a rusty brown in the middle of it, and there are runes all around it. And as you get ready to walk past it, the Reaper does not explain it, but it turns back to all of you and goes, "Don't ever use that."
Good to know.
So, if anyone with magical ability would like, you can make a check to see what that does.
I have magical ability.
I
Can I
do,
go,
and
occult?
that's a 21.
Okay, so Abby knows what it does.
I got a
Natural-
17.
natural 20 for a 23.
All right. Anybody else identify it? If they want to.
If I get a -1, does it help?
No, it does not. So, all of you that successfully noticed what that is, if you put the blood of any living thing, so it's got to be drained out of something while it's still alive, into the bowl, you can summon a spirit that you can name from the underworld, and it will show up and answer your questions.
Ross Johnson.
So basically, the whole reason this thing was constructed was as this sort of like oracle that someone could bleed out some creatures into the bowl, summon a spirit, and get some answers from. That was the whole reason this thing was constructed. Horrible blasphemy.
Yeah.
Also, doing that gets you a corruption, just naturally because of the arcane forces involved.
Noted.
Fringe will whistle. And this isn't a thing that could be picked up, right?
No, it's a stone altar that's built into the floor here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I couldn't just get Vigdis to pick
No,
up the altar. Okay.
and if you did move it, it would probably disrupt the runes, and it wouldn't function the way it's supposed to anymore.
All right. Can't take it with me. I got you.
No, you can't take it with you. So there is also another gate on the other side of the room. There are 2 huge statues of things that look a lot like Ross Johnson on either side of this gate. And he's just like casually gliding through this, and he looks back at you and goes, "You may want to be careful of these." And he doesn't really expound. He just says, "You may want to be careful of these." And he
Friends
keeps
of
moving
yours?
more towards the gate.
Are they friends of yours?
No, they're inanimate objects. Are you implying that I would have friends that are inanimate objects? Do you think I'm insane?
I have friends that are inanimate objects.
All right.
Are you implying that I'm insane?
No, you're fine. He just glides backwards from you.
Leave it to Widow's Cry to gaslight death.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it warns you about the statues. What do you guys do there?
Not going near the statues.
Yeah, ignore
Yeah.
the statues.
The statues are on either side of the gate to the underworld, though.
I'm inside my chicken hut as I go through, so
So Fringe is going through?
yeah.
Okay. So, Fringe, have the chicken hut give me an agility test.
Oh no, chicken hut's agility is not very good. Do I want to spend a fortune here? I feel like I could probably save my fortune. -2. Come on, baby. No, 6.
Okay, so the first statue, the scythe in its hands swivels, its hands like rotate, and it swings down, and it does 19 points of damage to the. You're inside, so it'll do damage to the hut first.
All right, the hut can take it. Oh, that's a good chunk.
All right, now roll me a d6 and tell me if you got a 1 or a 6 on it.
I got a 6.
Okay. So on a 6, roll me another agility test.
Awesome. Is this me or the hut?
The hut, since it's still moving.
Okay, got a 10.
Okay, so you stopped short, but when the first one hit, it staggered you backwards, and the other scythe rotated from the other statue. So with the agility test, I will let you choose. Do you want to be between two scythes, or do you want to have backed out completely?
Oh, she'll keep going forward.
Okay, so give me.
Between two sides.
So the thing resets. Give me another agility test with a boon this time.
Oh, I didn't need the boon, but I got a 16, and then with the boon, an 18.
All right, so you pass through this gateway. The gateway is completely shrouded in shadows. You can't see what's beyond it. But Fringe, as soon as you get through it, it's no longer shrouded in shadows. You can see clearly a landscape, but we will not describe that until everyone gets through the gate.
She'll start using her spare parts to fix her Eidolon.
Okay.
Spare parts ability.
So the rest of you saw the statues do the thing that they just did. What would you guys like to do?
So there's a way of timing it to get this thing?
A very narrow space between where the two blades reach that you could stand.
We asked Ross, like, can you not turn that off?
I didn't build it.
Terrible at your job.
They do nothing to stop the spirits either.
Okay. Well, I guess, I mean, we need to get through, so Vegas will just sort of like, psych himself up and then try and charge through it as fast as he can.
All right.
Make sure you're definitely in the center.
What's that?
Try and stay definitely in the center because it seems like there's an area that it doesn't touch, right? Like,
Yes.
is it only 1 inch or like a couple feet or?
So yeah, it's Vigdis is probably about. Yeah, well, I mean, it's tricky to stay between them, but Vigdis could manage it. If you want to time it to stop, I will give you 2. So if you run through both of them, I will give you a boon on the first test because they're coming.
When does it trigger and then it goes? Like, is there can I toss something through to trigger it and then run through as they're resetting?
You can try that if you would like.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
What would you like to
Father Stone.
A raven.
Enviously
Touch my birds,
eyes.
and we may not make it past this room.
So what?
Let me think here.
Father Stone. Father Stone.
There's nothing on the ground that I could There's no obvious
Stones?
stones or anything like that.
Father Stone.
Hey, give me a perception test to see if you
Father
see.
Stone's in the hut.
Why don't I go outside and grab
that's
something?
right.
Oh yeah,
I'll grab something from outside. I mean, we're not in a time sensitive thing here. I'll be like,
yeah, you can go out and do that.
okay, so I'll do that and we'll hit it. So does that give me another boon then to my?
If
My
you
roll?
toss the thing in the middle, first off, you know that the trap is there, so you get a boon for that.
Yeah.
You're going to try and trigger it, so I will give you 2 more boons. So you can make this with 3 boons. If you want to run through both of them, if you just want to run through one first and stop, I will give you 4 boons.
No, I'm sitting on 3 right now, so I'm good.
Okay.
Let's see. So here we go. He tosses it, and then he uses the legendary trollish chant for luck, which is "Oh shit!" I just rolled 21.
All right, so yeah, the first one, they trigger and then they reset, and while they're resetting, you run through. The first one just starts moving down as you run through it. That one was easy to get through. The second one just kind of swoops, but you're already through the gateway. And again, like this stone alcove, it's like shrouded in shadow. So initially when you look at it, you can't even tell if it leads to another really dark room or where it's leading. You run through there, and all of a sudden the shadows part, and you see this landscape, and all of a sudden you see, and we cut away from you. So
Nice.
who else would like to? The trap's resetting now. Who else would like to go through here?
Would you consider those scythes to be free attacks as you go through? Because they're triggered by your motion?
And I guess in what context?
As in, using celerity lets me move at twice my speed, and movement does not trigger free attacks.
Yeah, I would actually allow that to work, because that seems like an elfy thing to do, to just be able to do the whole.
So I will use one of my 0 level spells for celerity and just run really fast through it.
So Widow's Cry just kind of like says a few words and just like dances between all of these things, and they don't even trigger.
I think it feels a little foolish.
He used magic. He cheated.
Mm.
All right, so
I'll try to go through.
Kane and Abby.
All right, so we know how these things work. And I'm going to go with Vigdis's method and toss something.
Okay.
And that is an 18, 19, 20.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Are you running through both sets or stopping in the middle?
I will stop in the middle because
Okay.
Abby's a little more cautious than Vigdis.
So you actually get four boons on the.
It won't matter. One of the boons was a 6.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So since you stopped in the middle, you need to make a second check against the other one.
okay,
But
do
you-
I still get 4 boons on that one?
You get 4 boons on that one.
Okay. So 20 on the first check. And that's even better. 17 on the die, 5 on the boon, and 2 on the agility. So 24.
So you notice Abby does the same thing as Vigdis, and she goes out and she gets the rock and she tosses it in there. But she's not quite as adventurous as Vigdis, who just like tossed the rock and like took off running almost before the rock hit and just dove through both of them. Abby's like really kind of measured, and she waits for that, and then she slides in the middle and she goes through the second one. So she's a little more timid about it, but she is very cautious about it and gets through the second one. Abby, you also see the shadows part as you go through the archway, and this landscape reveals itself to you. And then we cut back to Kane. Kane?
Kane will throw some and then just try and dive through them both. Because I only want to make one roll, not two.
I'd also like to point out that this is the most peace and quiet that Kane's gotten in a while.
Like everyone's gone? Yeah, but he's in the underworld.
Yeah, we've got Ross Johnson, the bringer of death, who is leading us to somewhere where we have to take something from the underworld.
All right,
But
so
it's stuff that doesn't belong there. It's fine.
I got an 18. Is that successful?
All right.
Right.
As 18, and that was with just the 3 banes for going through both of them. Or boons. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so
You're like Banes. I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, yeah, the first one whooshes down. You handily get past that. You keep running. You don't even stop. The second one whooshes down behind you. You go through the shadowed alcove. You almost expect to hit a wall in between there because you can't really see between there. And all of a sudden, it's not bright. There's like this gray light, and you can see everything really clearly, but it's somehow like this gray light. And this entire landscape that you see, it's impossible to judge distance, but this whole thing is just this blasted rocky plain. And there's like almost like concentric circles of cliffs that lead further and further down into this deeper bowl. And like I said, it's almost conceptual when you see the distance between these things, because you see this fortress way down at the very bottom of the bowl, and you get this feeling that is like weeks and weeks away from you, so you shouldn't be able to see it, but you know it's down there. and you see this river that encircles the fortress down at the bottom of this basin. And everything is just bleak and gray, and there's this scouring, gritty wind that is blowing through, just is like the worst kind of like sandy grit that's like blowing through you on this plane here. And you don't see a sun. There's kind of light. It's very clear here, but it's just gray. So now,
Abby's gonna put up her hood.
Yes, because that is important, because you don't want your hair to get messed up.
Yeah, but it means she has to put her hat in her bag.
Oh, Ross looks around to all of you guys and goes, "You do all have your things on, right?"
No. But my bird does.
So, everyone that sees this expanse, you do not suffer the full extent of this, but you all must make a will test now.
Okay.
Did I get anything for being Fey person?
No, because this isn't losing your personality aspect. This is just the enormity and terribleness of all of this.
Would you say this
I'm
is dark
sorry.
magic?
Now, this is just a really gut visceral thing, so it's just pretty much a straight will check at this point.
And do I have a Bane because I don't have my
10 on the dot.
No.
Okay.
How long will the fear last for this? If we fail.
Just the fear isn't really so much the problem; it's that you take another point of insanity.
Failed. I'll take the insanity. I just didn't want to take the penalty for fear.
Yeah. The had you not, if someone were not wearing this and not immortal, because that's a second thing, yeah, you would, instead of taking 1 insanity, you would take 1d3 insanity, and in addition, you would lose a point of intellect
Oof.
and 1 profession.
Whoa.
Oh,
At home, is that rules as written from that Underworld
Yes.
supplement?
That is the underworld.
That's super cool, but this game is unforgiving.
wow, that is harsh.
Does it affect my birds?
Yeah, they lost a profession.
Well, no. One passed. I passed. One of them passed. The other one did not pass.
So he's
So I'm assuming the one that's doesn't have the headband on is now thoroughly insane, and I'm okay
Yeah.
with that.
I'm gonna say, like, if just without looking up stats on them, I'll say that if he loses 3 of these, he forgets who he is and starts to fade away.
That's fine because if he dies and I sleep, I get another one.
Yeah. So yeah, it may be important to keep these headbands on. Also, without these on, the other thing, because I'll explain this mechanically because you kind of danced around this otherwise, but if you do not have the blindfolds on, if you take physical damage, you also lose a point of intellect and a profession.
Whoa. Do not stub your toe.
wow.
That's always a given.
Yeah.
Toe stubbing hurts.
Yeah. It also makes you dumber. So
And does that affect the one that Fey creatures do not have to worry about?
Yeah, fey creatures don't have to worry about those.
Okay.
If you're injured or whatever, because this whole place is set up to break mortals down into their component parts and recycle what's left of their soul back into a new thing.
Go Team Faye.
It's
Really?
It's
are you guys accepting new members?
technically, Victus, I think you become Faye when you become the stranger.
Oh, sweet. Looking forward to that. If he survives this.
Yeah, if we survive this.
Oh man. So the Reaper is hovering in front of you going, I can lead you if you are prepared. Have you taken in the sights?
They are lovely.
Such as the yes.
Yeah.
And you guys know, like, when you did your impression map of this area before, like, you really understand now, it would be very hard if you were just going by landmarks. It is very much like a feeling of, there is a pulse of magic here, and right here I feel regret for the death of this king. And yeah, that is literally what your map is made up of, because otherwise you cannot follow anything through this place. So the Reaper goes, "Follow me. There is a slight tang of childhood misfortune, and it winds around this way."
One of my
Good
crows now caws and then cackles madly and then caws.
I'm
That's
picturing
new.
eventually quacking like a duck.
When you guys start to move, you notice another property of the underworld, and that is you feel heavier here. You're not quite sure what that means, but like the ground is like pulling you down towards it more than it normally does. The Reaper like glides over to this one area of the cliff that is a little less sheer and glides down it. So all of you, if you would like, give me a physical climbing test to follow it, unless you have some other means that you would like to go down, or you can just stay here at the edge of the basin for eternity.
I'd really like to be level 10 right now.
Yes.
Physical climbing. That's a strength check, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
We take a
I'm
bane.
gonna help. Abby, do you have difficulty with that?
We'll see, Vigdis.
You're not taking a bane on this, but you get the feeling if you fall here, it's actually worse than the distance that you normally would fall.
My chicken has
I'll
scored
help
24.
Abby. I'll help Abby out so she can get a.
I'm okay, Vigdis.
You know what?
I'm okay, Vigdis. You're fine.
So,
You're good?
so
Okay.
Mike just like does the spider climb thing with
Yeah,
the claws on the way down.
crushes it.
I rolled an 11, so I got a 10.
You successfully made your way down to this next tier.
I am good to go.
All right. So the Reaper goes, "All right, I know around here somewhere there was the loss of the person that you first kissed. I think it was right here." And if any of you have these kinds of memories, they kind of like flood into you as you're following this trail that's following using these terminology.
You do realize that like a couple of these, that this one and the last one, Abby is crying through. She's holding Vigdis's hand, by the way.
Okay. He does the little pat on her head, like a there.
So you come around this bend and you see on the next slope down, there is this thing that looks like a very well built, very large mausoleum. Like it's got multiple rooms in it. And the Reaper looks down and goes, "That should not be there. It is an abomination."
That's new.
And you notice like everything else in this landscape, like if you look really close at the stones, there's actually like ground up like gray bones in with a lot of the stone here too. As if there's like millennium of things that just like cease to exist. And you notice that compared to the weathered stone and everything else, this mausoleum is like made out of white stone that is not weathered. It is not being eroded by the landscape, and that it almost looks more real. To put it in real world terms, it's almost like the rest of the set is actually practical effects, and there's this big glob of CGI right in the middle of it.
And it's obvious CGI, right?
Yeah, I mean, it might not have been as bad as CGI if the whole scene were CGI, but since everything else is practical effects, it's like you can tell it's not right.
Got it.
So it's like TV quality, not movie quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Binding my vow to myself.
I can go no further until the wards are removed from that place.
Well, we'll miss you, Ross.
Make sure that you bring everything to its final judgment that exists in there, and then remove the wards.
Yep.
Noted. Magic acorns.
Ooh. Does the ward change the penalty where we lose intellect when we're injured?
Yeah, inside the actual mausoleum, it's like the real world.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So if you want to take the blindfolds off when you're inside, you could do that.
Okay.
That's probably going to be a very good thing for us temporarily.
So yeah, the Reaper is just hovering on this ridge here, and you guys can do whatever you would like.
Okay, guys, I have an ability called String Performance where I can, like, you know, tell you a story for about a minute, and then you guys gain a boon on attack rolls and +5 health for 1 hour. You think I should do that now or save that for if we get through to the troll?
Save it for if we get to the troll.
Yeah?
I
Yeah,
feel like there's
because-
going to be several nights of sleep between now and the troll.
As long as we get a sleep, then we can. Then I can get that back again. So I can. We all have to get a rest before I can do it again.
Well, I mean, actually, no. Yeah, because before we take down the wards in here, we could rest in here, take down the wards, because Ross will be out there. He doesn't care how long we take.
Okay. So then he takes a moment then to tell you about this awesome time that he fought this dragon.
Just, I love this because I can picture Vigdis being like completely into the story, and half the party going, "We were there. That was just a couple days ago."
Yeah. But it's completely exaggerated. On the back of this thing, and it was flying through the air.
And then, like, yeah, they're saying, "Wait, no, Abby just made it hump the ground, and you guys stabbed it while it was humping the ground."
Vic does not have a good grasp on historic authenticity, so at the end of that bullshit, you guys all gain 1 boon on attack rolls and +5 health.
All right, nice.
There's that one scene from Reign of Fire when he jumps off the top of the building with the axe and the dragon's coming at him. Somehow that's in the story.
That was big.
And then Matt McConaughey.
Oh man,
Okay.
so I'm assuming the +5 health is a bonus to the threshold too, like it's an upper.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, even if you're at maximum, that gives you +5 because it's a bonus to your threshold, not just your wounds, which is handy.
But y'all do.
All right. So how would you like to proceed? You're right above where this mausoleum is at.
Go to the mausoleum.
Right in.
Okay. Oh, from the top, I should also point out there's one entrance into it, but the mausoleum has it has this odd 3, 4, 5. It is a hexagonal structure. So it's not built in a square. It is a mausoleum that's built in a hex pattern.
Is there a hole in the middle?
No. The only way in appears to be the front entrance.
Okay.
Go to the front entrance then.
All right. So this is not as steep a slope, so you can scrabble down it without making your check. You see the front of this hexagonal structure. There's these double doors there, easily big enough for Vigdis to walk through, even if he wants to flex.
Fringe
Is
will
there anything
cover the
written on it?
entrance for a while.
What was Fringe doing?
She's going to cover the entrance for a hot minute.
Okay. All right. So is someone going to stride through the front doors?
Sure.
Is there anything written on the doors?
Why, yes, there is. There's actually runes all over the structure.
Are they in Common, High Archaic, Elvish, or Trollish?
They're not specifically in any language, but you do understand that they are arcane markings. You can make anyone, if you would like, can make once the elf points these out to you. You can make a test, and you get a boon if you have a magic profession, and another boon because the elf pointed these out.
26.
Okay.
26.
18.
You have to roll exactly a 26 or you don't know.
Oh, that sucks.
No, I'm kidding. It was a 10, like normal. Yeah, it's fairly obvious as you look at these, especially the way the geometry of the building and exactly where the runes are at. Like, there's runes all over it, but there's like odd gaps and they form patterns. You're pretty sure that just looking at this, you know which runes that you could damage that would remove the wards to this thing. It's not even a matter of dispelling the magic. It's just if you chisel out a few of the runes in the right spot, it will make the whole thing falter.
So if we spray paint an X here and here, then it's no longer warded. Check.
Vigdis will be a great chisel.
Well, do we want to do it yet? Did we not want to remove the wards, or you don't think these are the wards?
I think we want to go in and get what we need before, so that death doesn't say you can't have that.
Yes. I would agree with that.
Yep. Yep, me too. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Vigdis, you want to push the doors open?
All right. Make me a strength check with 2 Bane.
Love to. To Bane?
2 Banes.
And I
We got one
will
for the side
negate
there?
those banes with my God, what is it called?
Guidance.
Guidance. Yes, thank you.
I normally get a boon whenever I'm doing strength shit to my size. Should I get one from that too?
Yeah, because it's just that the doors are reinforced.
Sure. Hey, how about a 24?
So Vigdis, Abby goes, you've got this big guy, and Vigdis just like shoulders through them, and the doors like fly open, like football. So you see, there is a center. There's actually what looks like a desk in the center of this place, and then this is one face of the 6, and then there are 5 other faces here. So there's 2 on this side, 2 on this side, 1 on the exact opposite side. And then there's what appears to be like this marble desk with a really nice chair behind it. And this place actually looks like pristine. Like it looks like someone, it's like all marble and artistically chiseled, and it doesn't seem dusty or anything.
I agree. It's an abomination. I agree with Ross compared to the outside.
What would you guys like to do at this point?
Is there anything on the desk, like a ledger?
There is a ledger.
Ooh.
Is it a legible ledger?
Why, yes, it is a legible ledger.
And what language is it legible
Would you
in?
like to add another L to this chain of alliteration?
It's in the obscure language of double entry accounting.
Yes.
It is not an archaic, but it is a slightly older, like maybe a few centuries ago version of the common tongue. What it looks like in the ledger as you page through it, essentially these adventurers were like getting commissions from people saying, "Can you find this loved one and bring them back?" And so they would start like they have like a list of different important milestones in that person's life, and they would try and track the spirit down by following those emotions into the underworld and grabbing their spirit and pulling them back. So there's just this list of people a few hundred years ago that they went in here to retrieve.
That's super.
Does it list what they were paid?
Yes. But from what you can tell, they also had a fortress in the real world as well.
Hmm.
So not everything may be here that they ever garnered.
Is there a way
their fortress was?
Yeah, is there a link to their fortress from here?
You actually could use this to track down their real world fortress to loot later. So that will be a thing that you could do from the maps in the book.
No, I'm wondering if there's a way. Like, did they just hike out of the way that we came in?
Oh yeah, they use that portal to go in and out.
Oh shit. Okay, I thought there was a shortcut out. I'm like, woo!
Unfortunately, no.
Does it list any of their other any of their protections other than blindfolds?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't give any specific notations about being able to, what they use to survive or anything like that.
Can I ask the guys who are more magically inclined? Though, those runes that we saw on the outside of this thing, the thing that made this an anathema to the underworld.
Yeah.
You think you could carve those things on my armor? So I'm wondering if you could ward me against. Because if I'm the resident meat shield, I don't want to take any damage. I'm not exactly the brightest bulb as it is. So if I get dumber from it,
so you've seen how angry Ross gets because of this place.
yeah.
Do you want him and all of his brothers that angry about you?
But if they can't touch me, then it's impotent rage, right?
Imagine what they would do to Abby.
Okay, no, good point. Yep, he abandons the plan then.
And while Abby is kind of horrified at the look, or at the way that Widow's Cry describes it, at the same time, she appreciates the thought that that he put into it for how Victus would react.
I am going to, because of that fit of logic and clarity in shutting down that plan, I am giving Widow's Cry a fortune for that.
Oh, that's good, because the follow-up comment is, and plus, I don't know who I'd side with, you guys or a fellow representative of that. But you know, whatever.
You guys are in some kind of union together, or what? Soul Catchers Guild?
It's not the same union, but it's an affiliated union. It's
Local 216 versus.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I'm not in a teachers union, but I'm in an education workers union, which is affiliated with a teachers union. It's kind of like that.
I don't track down souls that escape. I track down people who kill Fey creatures.
He's kind of the other side of the equation. Okay.
You track down murderers.
So you have the two sets of doors on the inside of the structure that are on either side of the desk, and then you have the one on the far side. What would you guys like to do?
Well, right is right, and we'll just keep on walking around the building.
Hold on. Fringe stops. Wait. Hold left.
But right is right.
No, she says, shaking her head. Always hold left in these situations.
Lucky left.
Trust me.
Have you been in these situations often?
Many times, she says.
Oh, well, there you go.
So would you like to go in two different directions?
No.
No, we do not split the party. We're going to follow the crazy one.
Okay. So you go over to the left.
I checked the door for traps.
All right. Give me a test.
21.
All right. You do not notice a physical trap. There does appear to be a shimmering field that not evident until you take some time to slowly contemplate the wall. Give me a test with your magic to see if you can discern the aura and what it does.
Is that just like a power check?
Yeah. Well, it's just your knowledge of magical things.
Oh, well, if it's an intellect check, I got a 23. If it's a power check, I got a 21.
Okay. You get the feeling, and this may not affect some of you, but the field on this door would rapidly age someone that walks through. So you can attempt to try and get rid of it through some means, but there's at least two of you in the group that could just walk through this.
Well, what means would let me just destroy the doorway, or does somebody have a dispel magic or something?
Try and destroy the doorway. That might work.
Scholar of Magic.
Okay.
Yeah, you got magic people who know things. There's a weird energy here. Figure it out, she says.
That'd be an 18.
Yeah, if someone broke enough of the doorway away, it might destroy this. It's just they would have to do it at a distance without touching, getting too close and having the field affect them. So I don't know, somebody with like really good reach might be able to do it. I don't know if you have that, available, but
The only thing I'm worried about is blunting my sword. I don't really have a hammer or anything.
Let me see what I have.
Widow's Cry will walk over, point at the giant chair.
Oh, good call. Yeah, I'll go get the chair and bash the shit out of this doorway.
All right. Give me a strength test. No banes. You're just trying to break the doorway away so that it's not a doorway anymore.
I'm guessing I can't declare this my nemesis.
No, the doorway is not your nemesis.
Okay. Ooh, 11.
All
But
right.
isn't
So
old age the nemesis of all mortals?
I was going to say, Victus has probably hit his head on a lot of doorways.
you. It's not.
So we meet again.
It's not particularly spectacular because Victus just barely made the check. But yeah, he just kind of like breaks away the doorway and breaks away here, and finally the door just falls out, and a little shimmering aging field goes away. Inside, because you can see this as soon as the door falls in, and also the other thing about this entire room, you can't see a light source, but you're seeing everything fine. Everything is lit in here, and that's kind of a property of the outside, but you're thinking this is a separate kind of enchantment that's going on, but there's not like a light source. It's just everything looks like it's lit. So this falls in. You see what looks like a stone sarcophagus in the middle of the room, and then there's like some tapestries around that show like things that this guy did in his life, and you see that he's got a bow and arrow, and he was a great scout, and he was a wonderful lover and enjoyed drinking wine and cheese, and he didn't enjoy drinking cheese because that's shitty cheese. But there's all these like tapestries celebrating this guy, and there's a stone sarcophagus in the middle of the room.
So I don't think he's dead.
He has a bow. I'm curious.
Yeah, what kind of celebrations with his bow are on the tapestries?
Just him shooting various things at a distance. Because that's the spectacular things you do with a bow.
It is.
There's pictures of him maybe shooting through one guy to hit another guy.
That's
And then there's a
impressive.
picture of him, like, you know, shooting through someone's face to split an apple in half on a guy behind him.
That's odd, but okay.
That's a little morbid William Tell.
I bet you can't split this apple on my head. Yes, but I hate your...
Unless a zombie walked in between him and the guy who he was shooting at the arrow on his head, in which case it's a great shot.
Yeah, that's true. So what would you guys like to do here?
Open the sarcophagus, because they're supposed to lay everything in here to rest.
I'll check the sarcophagus for traps first.
Okay, give me a
As
test.
you approach it. You're like, wait. 18.
I love... This is the moment at which Fringe is lucid. No, wait.
Well, we are going to open up she will, of course, loot whatever she finds in there. So we're clear she's going to pickpocket the corpse first thing. But yeah, 18 looking for traps.
All right. You do not seem to find any traps.
All right. And then I'll carefully open it. And like I said, pickpocket the corpse before anyone realizes she did so.
When you look at the corpse, it's not immediately evident in the tapestries, but it appears it hasn't aged any, but this appears to be the dead body of an elf.
Oh, good.
He
Get
has
myself a ring or something?
he has an unstrung bow next to him. He's wearing nice clothing, but he doesn't seem to have anything expensive on him except that in his hands on his chest, both hands are clutching an arrow made out of bone.
Can I pickpocket an arrow made out of bone? Or is that too big?
I'm going to let you pickpocket it, but I'm also going to let Widow's Cry, since he was right up here, make a perception test to notice whether the arrow was there 1 second and gone the next.
All right, fair enough.
Uh, 17.
All right. Widow's Cry, not only you notice, like, as the lid is coming off there, you see this bone arrow clutched in his hands, and you think, oh my gosh, I need to get a better look. That could be. And then you look back, and it's gone. But for the brief second that you saw this, this is actually a famous relic, if it's what you think it is. This is the bone arrow, which was made from the, it was actually made from one of the first Fey Lords that was killed by the trolls back in the Ancient War. And this isn't just a bone arrow, this is the bone arrow. When you shoot someone with this arrow, when you shoot someone with this arrow and it is a living creature, it takes 8d6 points of extra damage. And if they fail a strength challenge when you shoot them. If they make their strength challenge, it does half that damage. However, it causes such a gory attack when it hits someone that if you see it hit someone, it literally like rips all the flesh and blood off of their body when you hit them. And people have to make a will test or take 1 insanity when they see you damage someone with this arrow.
Good lord.
That's a
Also,
lot of yeah.
well, it's an arrow doing 8d6 additional damage.
This is the thing that Fringe just jammed in her pocket?
Yeah. Now, if you make an attack roll with this and you roll a 0 or lower, the arrow is very disappointed with your skill and it swings back around and hits you. But you know this because this isn't just like a magic item that comes up every so often. There was maybe a handful of these made in the ancient times during the war with the trolls.
There was an arrow there. It's one of the few relics that I have ever actually seen in person of the Fey Lords. It would be a shame if it went missing.
Fringe looks at you skeptically, says nothing. She whispers to Vigdis, "This place plays tricks on the mind. Wary."
Vigdis nods in agreement.
Because
Yep.
it's such a special item that if you fail your attack roll with it, it'll do interesting things.
Fringe nods like she would to like a child that just like, woke up from like a scary dream.
Oh dear.
And he will reach in and very carefully remove the unstrung bow and take a look at it.
It's a very fine bow. If it has any kind of enchantments on it, it's only to keep it from falling apart over the ravages of time. It doesn't provide any combat bonuses or anything.
He will put it back down in the sarcophagus alongside the elf and
You also know this is
say,
his mortal companions. This is not how you would inter an elf that died, but
yeah, he'll do what he can to fix that after making sure that the elf is actually dead and not sleeping.
Yes. So you check for a pulse and breathing, and none of that is going on.
Then he will arrange the sarcophagus as appropriately as he can and close it back up.
Vigdis asks Widow's Cry, do your people normally
No.
bury their kind like this?
No.
Yeah. Actually, if you're going to have any kind of memorial of a dead elf at all, you usually like bury them and plant a tree over them and maybe carve something into the tree.
So why is he here then?
Because his asshole companions buried him here. And I don't have the strength to carry him with us on our entire journey to remove him from this mortal underworld.
But to be fair, if he's completely dead, once the words are gone, he's going to wear away in like an hour.
Right.
Vegas shrugs and says, I do.
We have more important things to do to prevent the slaughter of many more immortal beings. He will wither away once the wards are gone.
Okay, he's okay with that.
But if any of his asshole companions are here, they're not going to enjoy life. And keep your eyes out for that arrow. It can be a dangerous gift.
Okay.
Okay, so that was the first left-hand side room. Would you like to keep continuing along the left-hand side of the...
Yep, let's just keep going around.
Okay, and what do you do at the next door?
Fringe?
Does it have that same... Vegas kind of looks at you guys and like, does he need to smash it again?
Like, no, Fringe goes up, takes a look.
This one does not appear to have that field around it. Is Fringe going to examine?
She does. She gives a thorough examination with a 21.
Okay. What Fringe notices this time is there appears to be a strip right in the floor in front of this door where exsanguinating needles come up. There appears to be, like, physically the needles have to pierce the skin, but it appears to be some sort of magic upon them that would help drain fluid out of people.
Fringe explains that there are syringes in the floor. Suck out your blood.
Hey, Jared.
Ah,
Widow's Cry is actually going to leave the sarcophagus open and plant the guy's bow in his chest because it's the closest thing to a tree we're going to find here.
Nice.
Actually,
very true.
Abby's going to, once Widow's Cry does that, she'll take one of the magic acorns out and put it in the chest.
Cool.
Because magic acorn will turn into a sapling.
At least until the words are gone, at which point
Yeah,
there's going to be nothing left here.
I'm helping.
Okay, so that is a very nice gesture for the Elf Lord. And what would you guys like to do about the needles in the floor?
How? I mean, like, is it like a 10-foot square that they cover, kind of deal, or
The whole front of where the door is at, so about 8 feet across.
I mean, can I
Vegas.
just disable the trap?
You can try.
What would that be? An agility or an intelligence?
I'm gonna say it's more. I'd say more agility than intelligence because you're really trying. Because these things don't have to sink in and start taking it. It's like if you touch the needle, it starts drawing the blood out.
That's 4.
can we just step over them? Like I got a pretty big stride.
You could try.
I got a 17 to disable the trap.
Okay. So yeah, you manage to get the you reach down past the needle without touching the tip of it, and you pull on the little the metal strip that triggers the springs underneath all of them, and you pull that out, and all the needles just fall straight back in, and they won't pop up.
Nice.
Yay.
Door.
In we go, I guess.
Okay. So when you go into this door, you see a figure that is laying on a stone table. There are, once again, tapestries of this guy, and the guy looks like he's, like, if you look at the tapestries, it looks like some guy that's wearing really odd armor, and he's doing all of these amazing, infiltration things, sneaking in, stealing things, slaughtering people in their sleep, and it's showing him, like, sneaking around at night. And you see on the stone table what it actually, when you look at the tapestries and the guy, you notice that it is a clockwork.
Huh.
And he, on his chest, is holding what appears to be it's a well-made but simple wooden goblet.
So you say goblet or goblin?
Goblet.
Okay.
Not a wooden goblin, that's elsewhere.
I see a theme in this session.
Magic?
Well, let me say this. Kane, are you looking into this room?
Yes, I'm involved with this. Is there anything on the tapestries that have the wooden goblet being used?
No, it's just showing him, like, sneaking in, doing wonderful feats of assassination and stealing. But But you, as soon as you see the goblet, much like the elf, when he could immediately identify what the bone arrow was, this appears to be Virtue's Goblet. And Virtue's Goblet is actually a sacred relic of the Church of the New God. Astrid, who is like the first martyr of the church, is said to have blessed this goblet. And any liquid poured into Virtue's Goblet instantly becomes pure. Dun, dun, dun. While holding the goblet, you can call upon its healing power and make a will challenge. On a success, the next living creature to drink from the goblet heals all damage, removes all insanity, removes all disease, and all poison. If they fail, if the person drinking fails when it's handed to them, the cup becomes a normal cup for 24 hours. If this happens 3 times, the goblet disappears. It doesn't become disenchanted, it just goes elsewhere in the universe.
We're supposed to just take all this stuff? Do we know who these guys are, these adventurers?
No, this is the first you guys have ever heard of them. They seem to be active several hundred years ago.
And there were 5 different crypts in this thing, right?
Yes. So far, you started off at 1 and you moved left and went into 2 of them. You're at the one that's if you keep going left, you will be going straight on into the one that's exactly opposite the entrance at this point.
Okay. So I'll turn to Widow's Cry and say, I think all the asshole companions are dead.
Maybe, but they might stand up. Ross seemed to think there might be things that need to be set to rest in here.
Yeah, you notice the bits that sometimes are glowy bits on a clockwork are not glowy bits on this. There's no gears moving. You do know what you know of clockworks. You could try and wind him up and see if he activates.
Well,
I don't think we want to do that, do we?
as I have said before, if there is ever a red button moment, we know what Fringe does.
Yo, Fringe, could you scavenge shit from this guy too? From his corpse?
Oh, that's a better question.
He is actually an object at the moment, so he's an object of mechanical stuff and pistons and gears. So
I don't know what could I? Does it look like I could salvage some good stuff off this guy?
yeah, you could probably scavenge the body.
Might be a good ally against the troll, though.
Let me evaluate this thing and see how much, how worth it would be.
What does your bag usually have?
16 gold coins at this point, 7 of which are devoted to the plating on Chicken Hut.
Yeah, this guy's worth at least 100.
What? 100 in my artificer bag?
Because this guy was upgraded to be an awesome adventurer.
Okay, wait. No, when you say 100 gold, do you mean 100 gold just in general? Or like,
100 gold for purposes of you using stuff from your bag for your profession.
Yeah, he'd actually be worth significantly more than that as an object.
It's just like frippery that that is like.
I mean,
important for
100
housing a soul, but not.
what
for power.
can't you make with 100 gold?
What's that?
What can't you make with 100 gold?
Bone arrow.
Stuff that costs more than 100.
Almost nothing costs more. Like I could make a rifle with what I have now.
Good.
You can't make an air.
You could not make an airship or a locomotive.
Could I make a jetpack?
No, because those have not been detailed.
Ornithopter.
I don't think those have been detailed, and I think it's more expensive than 100.
Damn.
But
I
yeah,
have rules for blimps in Shadow of the Demon Lord that the Demon Lord himself has approved of. I do. I'm not kidding. I do. All right. You know what? Yeah.
Fringe starts like pulling
Hold
gears
on.
and springs out of this guy.
We're just gonna make it a even or odds. Even or odds. Who wanted to have him as the ally? You get to pick. Even or odd. Kane. Odd. Evens. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Salvage.
You start pulling pistons and gears and plating off of this thing.
Abby just walks out of the room shaking her head.
So, this will be, I will wrap up wherever we go after you guys answer this, but do you want to continue going left? And if you do so, what would you like to do?
Yeah, we need
I
to
say we do, yeah.
finish up these rooms. And we're just running out of time.
Continue going left.
All right, so if you continue going left, you see the next door, there are some odd, like, black and silver runes all around this door compared to the other ones. What would you like to do at this point? I will wrap up in a moment, but
Anything specific about these runes? I got a 12 on the magic check.
when you make that check, it looks like this section of the tomb is double warded. Like, in other words, if you eliminated the wards on the outside of the tomb, this room in here would probably still be warded.
We should probably go the other way and clear out whatever might be there and be useful for whatever the hell they're double warded in here.
It's probably the wizards.
Do the runes prevent us from going in, or only folks like Ross?
No, just natives of the underworld.
Yeah,
Okay, so we can just open the door then, can't we?
Good.
Well, I mean, I'll check it for traps and stuff first.
well, let's do the other marble doors and then go to the double warded door.
I agree with this.
Sure.
Okay.
So,
So are you
marble
going
door
to
on the
skip
right
this
one.
door and go to that next one and then go around?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we will do the next left one after skipping this door the next session. So we will end here. Everyone, feel free to level yourselves up a level.
Hell yeah.
Oh, picking up some warlock.
I hope everyone is enjoying themselves. Does anyone have any last minute questions before we wrap up?
I don't think so. Sorry for
Somebody-
cutting in and out of it today.
Somebody figure out where the rules for vehicles are so I can build like motorcycles for everybody.
So I'll be gone next Saturday.
Right, and I already have that on the schedule. Next Saturday we will not be playing. So anyone that's watching this live, which is no one according to my little viewer thing, but in case, next week we will be skipping, and then we'll be hitting the next two sessions, which will wrap up the campaign after that. I'm going to go ahead and call it here. We will stop with them about to go into the next exciting doorway after skipping the special double warded door. Thank you for anyone that may have watched during the stream. Thank you for anyone that... Oh, now we have one viewer. We just have one viewer, but I'm getting ready to sign off.
You're too late.
Thank you for watching. I hope you watched this from the beginning because we're about to sign off. Everyone, thank you for playing. I really enjoyed running for you guys. I hope you guys are having fun. Thank anyone for watching now and in the future. I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and we will see you next time. Thanks, all.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Later, everybody.
Yo.